for this first episode, we read Batman: The Court of Owls Saga. It's the first 11 issues, I think.
1 through
Not
11.
12.
No.
Every trade is 1 through 11 issues. That's how they are all done that way.
Yep, every trade is 11
Are they
issues
really?
exactly.
They don't cover the full second arc after
No,
that?
they always go for 12. This one just for some reason ends on 11.
I know. I was thinking that arcs
I
are
don't
like
understand.
6 issues a lot.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It's usually 6, 8, or 12.
Is 52 divisible by 6? Yeah, 6
It
times
just-
7, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
It
7
just
arcs a
covers
year.
it.
6
when
times
it was
7
Is that why
in
it's New
volume.
52? Because they made 52 issues for each thing?
Dude.
Well, actually, there's
Some
a
of
lot
them did not make it that
Oh,
far.
really?
That would be crazy.
There's
Some
a,
of them
there's a
did
lot
not make it
of,
that far.
well, and okay, so I didn't do a lot of research before this.
Yeah.
I kind of am just going based off of what I know and what I think I know. But
Off
I
of
think
headcanon.
Scott Snyder's run, it starts with issue 1, obviously. I think
Right.
it goes for 52 issues.
Oh,
and then
okay.
and then it
That's
keeps going, but
crazy.
Scott Snyder's not
But
the
he
writer.
dropped
Yeah,
it off
right.
after 52.
I think he
okay.
did. So that's like 5 years, I think he.
So
that's
to
a-
abbreviate
52
Scott
issues.
Snyder's name,
Not related or affiliated with Zack Snyder, as far as I'm concerned. I've been doing
different.
research.
Yeah.
Different people. There's an
just share
off-screen
last
voice.
name.
Our off-screen voice over there is Isha.
What's up?
So guy in
Yeah,
the
he's
chair.
a
Are we gonna
he's a hovering
introduce
voice.
ourselves
Yeah,
as
can
well?
Yeah,
We
maybe we
could.
should.
Yeah,
We
who
start
are
with
we?
the
Who's
guy
the
off
host?
camera.
He's the only one I care about.
Wait, time out.
That's fair.
Let's restart and introduce ourselves. Then
No.
Yeah, I was about to say. Are we,
No,
are
he
we
said
throwing
we
me
ain't
in the
doing
fucking
that.
camera now?
We're in. We're going.
I think we're
We're
into
in.
it. I think we're into it.
I mean,
Well, if we want to do a formal introduction, how about we start with a man on the left, Jonas Tabling? Am I saying that right?
Yes,
I'm on the
Tabling.
left.
Jonas Tabling. That is my name.
Camera left.
Resident
My
Transformers.
left.
fan.
Resident Transformers fan, because none of these fuckers read it or know anything
Oh,
about it.
I read
the
one
same.
volume by Robert Kirkman.
Oh yeah.
That's the only one I've read. One trade.
I mean, honestly, I only just started picking up the comics now, but I was real into the movies and the show, and
Which movies?
The Bay movies?
obviously the Bay movies.
Obviously.
But
What
I mean,
other?
I didn't see the Gen 1 movie until after that.
You
'Cause
saw
I
Megan
think-
Fox and
Yeah, I saw Megan Fox.
Okay,
and,
well, I
it made my mind go woo, and then also big robots that turn into cars, which is like whoa, even more. So then that just I was like, oh, what is this? And then I started getting more interested in the actual animated show. I didn't even know that was really a thing until I saw the Bayverse movie.
So what you like more?
oh,
Whoa.
I mean,
It's a simple question.
it is a simple question.
Patreon content.
Yeah, right.
If we're-
Yeah,
We're gonna have
if-
to-
the episode's not about
if we're
that.
being, yeah, it's not. But if we're being real here, I am a bit more of a fan of the Bayverse because that has a special place in my heart because it's my first introduction to Transformers.
Valid.
But I do love. I mean, I wasn't around obviously when it was happening and was a huge craze in the 80s.
So
but
that actually brings me to my first point. The Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie is not that bad.
It's
Well,
pretty.
since
okay.
we're
It's
not starting
okay.
off with
Bad.
hot takes, how
It's
about we
pretty
hear
bad.
from our next contestant here,
That's not an
Gavin
opinion.
Soundrup. How are we doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
How would you like to introduce
I feel ready.
yourself?
I think I'm gonna win Beast games. No, yeah, I don't know. I think like the first comics I read were like Calvin and Hobbes, and then like
Wow.
literally like Sonic comics, like the Archie Sonic
my
comics.
dad
which
had
are-
one of those big Calvin
Yeah,
and Hobbes books.
the good stuff in
Yeah.
there. I don't know. I read a lot of different random stuff, lots of horror and lots of superheroes, and I'm just excited to talk to people about comics. Yippee!
Fire.
Ryan.
I just want to
My name's
preface.
Ryan Lee,
Oh, sorry. No.
and I'm the resident Spider-Man Glazer, and that's all you need to
You gotta
know.
have one.
need one.
You gotta have
We
one.
need-
I
yeah.
have one.
If it ain't
How many
street level.
hours in Rivals
He's
I
Lord.
have
on Spider-Man?
Lord.
Is he Lord
That
That
Spider-Man?
doesn't mean shit nowadays.
just on Spider-Man.
Just Spider-Man.
Probably like
Spider-Man.
25. to
A whole
30
day
hours.
of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Last day, Spider-Man.
Could you
last
ask
day.
for anything more?
Brand
Yeah,
new
and he
day.
actually did
Brand
it
new
all at
Spider-Man,
once,
brand new
too.
day.
Right on
Brand.
launch, he just played Spider-Man and couldn't put it down for 25 hours. And then he never,
Yeah.
played,
Dude.
he never
Hell
picked
yeah.
it
He's
back
never
up
played
again.
Rivals again.
Yeah. And I'm Aaron.
Going.
Yeah, introduce
Aaron
yourself properly,
Cohen.
man.
I don't
What's your
know.
last name?
I was always into superheroes and stuff, but I didn't start reading comics until like a year ago. For me, it was all YouTube. I watched like Comic Story and Comics Explained. Those two were my goats. And but yeah, starting January 2023, I started collecting, and now we're here. Now look at
Yeah.
us.
This man put me on to collecting, and now
Heck
here
yeah.
we are.
I wanted to just preface too that Transformers was not my first comic book, but Ultimate Spider-Man was. The Venom arc specifically was my first
Ooh, fire.
comic book that I had, and then I also got a small Fantastic Four book. I don't know who wrote it.
Hickson, if you're lucky.
There was a dinosaur on the cover, and that's all I really
Not
remember
sure.
about
Lost
it.
me
There was,
already.
there was
We
a-
can reverse search it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
There was a dinosaur part.
Look it
in
up, Isha.
And there was also
you should
another.
look that up.
Fantastic
for
Four
us.
dinosaur? What kind of dinosaur?
It was like a T-Rex.
Just look up
It
dinosaur.
was just a green. It was just on the
It's
cover.
probably
There
the
was, like, they were in
Savage
this- Yeah, they were in
Lands.
the Savage Lands.
It's probably
that's
Mole
like,
Man.
That's what it is.
Okay.
But there's another part of it. It was like I don't think it was like a continuous like volume or anything. It was just a collection of some stories, I think. But there was also another one where it was the Fantastic Four with that big bulldog that can like teleport. Or
Oh,
whatever.
the Immortals pet.
Yeah, Lockjaw. There was
yeah.
like they
Lockjaw.
were
Yo.
on some adventures with him, and he was like transporting them just to random ass places.
Inhumans. I
Heck
said
yeah.
Immortals. It's the Inhumans.
Oh yeah, Inhumans. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
No,
Okay, so-
I always think it's Immortals too. I don't know why.
They got too many groups I don't give a fuck about.
There's a lot.
So you're kind of right. I don't know if this is the issue that you're remembering, but the only Fantastic Four dinosaur related issue that's not like a fucking Doomsday situation, because he's riding a T-Rex in there. There's an Ultimates run where it's Ben Grimm and he's about to punch a T-Rex.
Okay.
And then there's
That sounds
a very,
fire.
very old one where it's like a Triceratops, like just like ripping into a fucking uniform, and it says Fantastic Four, no more.
You know, I
Could
don't.
be either.
Fantastic
that could
Four,
be-
no
well,
more.
Is
Like
I think
Spider-Man,
Lockjaw
no more.
was like the main plot device in that. I remember because he was he just kept like transporting them to random ass places in the Savage Lands or whatever they
So
were.
it's Ultimate
was-
Fantastic Four issue 21. I can look more into that.
See, if
Could
they
be,
made that
could be.
today, it would be like multiverse, and they'd be going
Right,
to different
yeah.
universes, and
They'd be interacting with themselves that are
and
dinosaur
Lockjaw
riders.
would not be in it because they're like, "There's no synergy. no one's gonna watch this movie."
He can't even talk. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. They'd make
Okay.
him Scooby Doo. He'd be voiced by Chris Pratt.
Yes, and I would watch it.
Yes, sir.
Just to talk about it.
Okay, well,
Yeah. Let's.
All right,
get
let's
to
Now
get
the book.
let's
into
talk
it.
about what
to
we're
bring
really
us back
here for.
to the name
I guess yeah.
or the point of this podcast, it's basically book club. We read a book a month, and this month we chose Batman Court of Owls.
Yeah. It's all
Courtesy
of us.
of Aaron.
Yeah, so how we chose this is we all put in two like trades that we could read, and then we spun a wheel, and it landed on mine.
It did.
I forget what the other one I put in was. World Tree?
Yeah,
Volume 1?
Volume
Yeah,
1.
that would have been interesting. Well, we got Batman, which is low-key
We
like a
did.
great first episode.
It's a good.
Written
one.
by Scott Snyder,
good
art by
start.
Greg Capullo.
Coincidentally, we all read the compact edition,
We did.
which is new. Only $10
And
for
boy,
that
do
shit,
I have
bro.
some fucking thoughts on this, man.
What do you not like about the compact?
Okay, let's talk about it.
Okay.
So,
first issue.
issue 1 through 11, no problem with that. I think
Yeah.
it's actually a great idea that they went farther than just the 1 through 6 Court of Owls. Like Night of the Owls is a great addition to just tack on. No reason to not include it. What they
Full arc.
listen, man. So what they did wrong, what they fucked up here is there's backup issues for like, I think there's 4 backup issues.
I think there's just
I think it's 2.
there's the one with Jarvis
There's
Pennyworth.
4
and
backup 4 backup issues.
Oh,
or
okay.
backup.
But they only put 2 in the.
Yeah, well, no. The one with Jarvis is a 3-parter. So it came out
Oh,
3
I
issues,
see.
like
Okay.
2 or 3 pages at a time.
Gotcha. Right.
I didn't read them. I skipped that part.
You skipped it.
Yeah, and you're missing out. And you know,
Whoa,
that's
what?
my
It's a literal-
exact fucking problem with this is if you had it in floppies
Or trade form.
or trade. I don't know how they did it.
in the volume form, like the whole issue for that like Batcave fight, it ends and then it goes into the backup
Yeah,
issue. And
okay.
then it goes into the next
And
one.
that's where it all starts, right? There's an issue where it ends. Alfred and Batman are in the fucking Batcave. They're in the armory. They're locked in. There's a bunch of fucking people trying to get them. And then Batman busts out in this huge suit. And that is like a splash page. It's how the issue ends. And then the backup issue picks up immediately. It shows him fighting the guys. And it shows Alfred like putting a call out to all the like Bat family in Gotham and telling them like, hey, here's the situation. You need to protect these people. And it kind of goes back and forth. And it shows Batman fighting. And it's like an amazing epilogue to it. But you don't, and it's
You don't get
perfectly in between the end of that issue and the beginning of the next one.
Like there's no reason it should have been at the end.
Right,
No,
you
that's
you
true.
miss the entire fight because when it's in this, it doesn't happen until they just collected all the backup issues at the end after issue 11, and then there's the 3-parter with Jarvis Pennyworth, and that's first of all,
I really like that. I'm not gonna lie.
I have
I
my
re-
opinions
I like
on that
that
story.
one.
I don't love it. I like the story. I don't like how there's certain things they did with the origin of Batman and like the lore and his like family relationship. I don't
Well, that's
love
another.
Thomas Wayne Jr. I don't like Lincoln March. So like but even okay, look. So
We're getting ahead.
We're getting
Yeah.
ahead.
aside from all that, the 3 parts of that story are better in segments. When
Right.
you're reading
No,
the
I
story
imagine.
and then you get a little bit of the Jarvis backstory, and you read the story and the
You get
mystery
more of it.
continues and the backup issues feed into it. And then, but like at this point, you read the whole story. You know what Lincoln March is. You know about fucking Thomas Wayne Jr. You know what the Court of Owls. It's all resolved. And then you read it all as one story, and you're like, well, there's no mystery anymore. I know everything that happened. So I think they really fucked up that, and like that's whatever. That's just a formatting thing. They decided to put all in the back for some reason, which is stupid.
It's compact.
The Jarvis Pennyworth thing is like more like that story. It makes a little bit more sense to put it all together just at the end. That's fine.
It's a
but
nice little like book.
But the other one, I can see what.
yeah, like
that
when it's
definitely-
literally in between the issues, like chronologically, like why would you put it at the back? And you're like, oh, that's what happened when Batman was fighting. Like it's stupid. Yeah.
That is bizarre.
Alfred POV.
It's dumb. My only other problem with this, and it's why I kind of hesitated picking this one up for a long time, is I just wish it was bigger. I just wish it was bigger. I feel like the panels, some of them are really small, some of the text
Some
is
of them
really
are hard to
small,
read.
and
Yeah.
it's a little bit
I
hard
mean,
to read.
right.
It is
It
very
is a compact.
But for example, they also published Watchmen like this, and with the
it
9
was
panel
bigger.
grids, it's
Right.
like it's just laid out better. So
Yeah.
Well, some of the paneling they're doing in this is like new and experimental, and some of
Yeah.
it just doesn't. It needs the space.
it needs the
Yeah.
space.
Some of
Exactly.
it did.
But I also think like for what the compact editions are and like how they're
It's not a bad way to read it.
no, like you're
I mean,
able
for
to
$10,
they can
Yeah.
sell them in like regular
Yeah.
bookstores. They can put
Right.
it on a shelf in like a Walmart, and people would look at it because it looks like an actual book. And I think Court of Owls is a great story to put in that kind of like format where if it's going to be a broader release, it's going to be more approachable.
Especially since
Court of Owls
it's
is
just
good.
such a well-known.
But yeah,
art
they really
of
fucked up the
his.
backup issues. It kind of pissed me off. Because when I was reading this, I kind of flipped back and forth between reading it through this and reading the online issues. So like I got the better way to read it with all the backup issues. I experienced as it was coming. And then I was like flipping through this because I wanted to see how it was working. And I'm like, holy fuck, they didn't do it that way. I thought they completely didn't even include those backup stories. And then I flipped it back. I saw they call it like additional stories or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever. That's my big problem with the compact. That's my little rant about the compact.
I
format.
definitely agree with you on that end. I just read it today actually to catch up with you guys, and reading the kind of like last little issues at the end kind of confused me a little,
Yeah.
especially with the little space in between the like chapters 8
The
and 9. I think
art style changes too.
yeah,
Yes,
that was a
it
big
does
one.
a lot.
That
Well,
makes it
and-
feel disjointed.
Not
a
Not
little.
necessarily for the Pennyworth side, but definitely
Yeah.
for the in-between fight one
Yeah.
where Alfred is sending out the message. That threw me off
Yeah.
a little.
You do
knowing-
kind of get that in the story though, but I remember I read this on like when DC Universe was both for all their shows and comics.
Oh, right.
So like 4 years ago or something, I read it on there, and then I read it on the compact when it came out, and then I read it again on the compact now. So I totally forgot that those were different segments.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's funny too? I just thought of this. So Scott Snyder wrote all the backup issues, and that's part of why I think it should be integrated in the story, because it's not like it's a disconnected. Like it's literally the same writer, but it's
Yeah.
actually he co-wrote them with James Tynion or what. But he's the one.
Tynion.
James Tynion wrote World Tree, which was the other thing
Oh,
that I
your
put
other
in there.
pick.
So it's kind of funny that they're
funny.
both
Worked
in
out
this
that
one.
way.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. But yeah, just the fact that it's the same writer, I really think it should have been integrated more.
Yeah.
But we
So-
haven't even begun to talk about
But
the
the
actual.
actual.
Before we get
yeah,
ahead of
we're
ourselves,
already
We're
we're already at
ahead
the
of
end.
ourselves. So this is
This is Batman.
it's Batman.
It is Batman.
This is. I mean, it starts with issue 1. This is New 52 Batman. It starts here. This is they didn't restart continuity, especially with Batman, because I mean, issue 1, you see him. He has all the Robins. He has all of them down to Damian. You know, I mean, there's some like other.
This is the first series
characters.
after Flashpoint.
Yeah,
and all
so
that.
Flashpoint happens, and what they did is they took all of the continuity and they said it happens within like 5 years, which really fucks up Batman's whole thing, because that means he went through a sidekick basically every year. And it doesn't make sense because like Dick
It's
Grayson
never
is
made
like
sense.
a full.
It's never
No,
made
and
sense.
that's the biggest issue with
Batman's always in his what, like mid 30s.
Yeah,
and
perpetually
No matter what.
30
so
to 40.
the Robins also just can't really age. It's just how
Yeah.
it. it's
Well,
how it
and
goes.
like Dick Grayson being like early to mid 20s,
Yeah.
and then and he became a Robin only 5 years ago. He
Yeah.
would have had to start when he was like already a late teenager,
And
as
they-
opposed to being like a kid.
I think they
you know?
still allude to how he was Batman for a while too, and he was it for like years.
Yeah.
But then it's like know, it within the chronologically, who knows?
It's somewhere in between 5 and 10 years. I think they did the same thing with Green Lantern, where like his continuity didn't restart. They just kind of.
I think that's most of the reboots. They kind of like fresh, like
Or maybe I'm thinking
soft
about Rebirth.
reboots.
I'm thinking about
Yeah, it's
Rebirth.
like soft reboots.
When they did Rebirth, Batman and Green Lantern didn't get reset. All the other guys did. But this New 52 start and I mean, okay. So first of all, we start off with Batman fighting his rogues, and then all of a sudden, fucking and then Joker comes out and starts fighting with him. And damn, if that isn't fucking cool for about
I mean,
3
for an
pages.
intro,
It's super cool. I mean, it's attention grabbing, and it shows you like this is a Batman who's established. He has all of these bad guys.
He's got the crew.
And not only that, but they're in Arkham breaking
He's
out.
put
So
them
he's
away.
put them all away already.
It's already gone through all the shticks.
Yeah, and then he starts fighting with Joker. It's revealed to be Dick Grayson, Robin, which is, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could be disappointed by that, but I thought it was cool. Obviously, it would have been like crazy to see Batman and Joker fighting.
Why would they?
Issue 1 too, but it was cool either way.
It wouldn't be
I mean,
called
it does.
Court of Owls,
Right. I think it just shows like it's just character building. Like Batman is a planner. He has contingencies. He's gonna be thinking 3 steps ahead of the opposition, and that goes right into the theme of he knows Gotham in and out. He is. I mean, there's literally like text boxes that say like Gotham is Batman. You know, Batman is Gotham.
I mean, it starts off because he's talking about like the Gotham newspaper where they have each week, what is Gotham? And then they all fill it in. And he starts it off with Gotham is a thug. Gotham is, like just
Gotham is dirty.
Gotham is dirty. Gotham is
Corrupt.
nothing, corrupt. And then he goes, then he goes to his little tangent where he's like, Gotham is Batman. Gotham's me. It's all of us. It's much more than that.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It reminded me of how the Daredevil Born Again show has been doing like the little segments of like New York on the street stuff. Like I was like
that, but
it's pretty good.
I haven't watched it.
Or like
I haven't even finished the
Marvels.
first one.
How the Marvels it's all from the like photographer journalist
Right.
perspective. I always like that bit of like there's more like world building going on.
Yeah.
for any
with that
street
kind of
tier
stuff.
hero, the city is always like
It's part of it.
Yeah.
And it's
City's always a
great
character.
for starting a new kind of continuity. It shows you like it without it just shows you implicitly like this is a Batman who has earned the trust of his city. He's gone through like whatever bullshit with the public eye and the police trying to stop him and all that, but he's still he's still a hero to the public, and that and it really helps the main theme that like especially in the beginning, like Bruce Wayne, Batman, he knows Gotham in and out. And then of course they start kind of alluding towards the Court of Owls being like this myth, this like urban legend that the people know about. And of course, like Bruce tried to follow them when he was young because he thought they might have been connected to the murder of his parents, and he sees that they're not. And then and to me, I don't know, maybe it's just because like obviously I know the Court of Owls exists, but I'm like, Batman's fucking crazy. Like, are you for real that it's not the Court of Owls? Like, come the fuck on. Like, I mean, it's so clear. Like, I don't know what else it could be. He gets attacked by an assassin, and he fucking throws him off a building onto a car, and they just walks up and walks away. And he's like, I don't know. I don't think anything weird's going on here. Like, what do you fucking mean, dude?
But I feel like that is just a big part of the story, anyways, because the whole thing is he's denying it so hard just because that was like we were talking about where he looked into it as a kid, as a detective. That was his first case, and it came up with nothing. Right. And it was a very important case to him because, it involved his parents, obviously, which is literally his old, almost got him killed because he fucking got stuck in there and for like a week was comatose. But, fuck, what were we talking about?
I think we should just go in order and try to summarize each issue.
Yeah, I mean,
we could. Since we were talking about, Dick Grayson already with them, that's the main thing in the first part is that before they even mention the Court of Owls, is like there's that weird John Doe that they find who's murdered.
Yeah.
And then
and that's how issue 1 ends.
Kitty, and that's how but it ends with there was a
Batman or Bruce
DNA
Wayne
match.
is
It was a
next.
Dick Grayson match. So that's like that's how it ends, and it starts off with the mystery of, does Batman even really know his city or his own people that way? Like
I think
I'm going off.
I think one of the interesting things about this take on Batman is he's like, honestly, he's very cocky which
Yes.
which
Yeah.
is always confident, but I feel like in
He's
a lot
not-
of times in this
But
one
he's justified.
he's
a lot
so
of times.
he is, but he's like,
But
and
this he's just.
we have to put in account that this guy wrote Absolute Batman now, and it's like he does like to write Batman as just this powerhouse kind of that can just be like
Do whatever.
brash.
Yeah.
But he's as you guys were saying, he's so confident that the owls don't exist that he's like pretty much doesn't even consider that that's what's going on, which with his rogues gallery, they're always messing with him. So it's like, it wouldn't be unlike Riddler or somebody to be messing with him.
Fucking with
Right.
him. Yeah. With just some wise tale.
But yeah, especially like when they start getting to the whole thing with they're on the 13th floor and whatever. It's like there's no way during his
right.
fights he hasn't crashed through one of those 13th
Yeah,
floors.
he doesn't crash through it.
The only way you build up a mystery that's been in Gotham this whole time and you didn't know is by writing it that way. You know,
Right.
it's like there's no actual huge, undertaking that's been
Overarching.
written into Batman the
Right.
whole time. You
Like
have to do that. You know,
Honestly, that was one
Yeah.
of my favorite takes on just like this run of Batman and altogether, because it really ties into like the central theme of like what is like the heart of Gotham, what is Gotham's identity, and why is Bruce so like clung to the idea of like being that heart of Gotham, being that identity that protects and watches over everyone. And the minute he kind of uncovers like the truth to what lies beneath that, the less of a grip he has on not only himself and his own identity of Batman, but his own image of Gotham. And it kind of just really, it's just really strong storytelling, at least for the first half of the issue. But I did love how it kind of just like feeds into like his own strength, being a reflection of his own like trust and his own love of Gotham, especially once he falls into the labyrinth and kind of faces his true
The
test,
labyrinth.
which
Well,
we'll get to that.
They talk about this 13th floor too. Well, I say Batman talks about this 13th floor. He talks about it as like it's just like technically the 13th floor. They built it to like
It's just a little subspace
yeah,
between
he said
the 12th
like
and 14th.
just enough space for someone to like crawl into and have a base. And then he goes and he reveals all these like owl caves, all these 13th floors, and they're like huge rooms,
Yeah.
And it's like it is crazy. It's like you're telling me that in every like building. I mean, one of these was even in like a Wayne building.
Well, they're all Wayne
20 of
buildings.
them were,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're
Are they
all
all
they're
Wayne
all
buildings?
his
Yeah.
great grandfather's buildings that he
Okay.
like
Yeah.
commissioned. Because that's the main thing is that Alan Wayne, who's his great grandfather, he finds out that Alan Wayne has been like in connection, not like in league, but he was connected to the Owls. He's the
Right.
link between
Getting
him,
chased
his
by them.
family. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was getting chased by him, which is the
Right.
whole thing is that everybody thought he was fucking crazy because he was ranting about owls all day, and they're like, they're following me, they're listening to me, they're in my fucking house, and
And he
that's
falls
that's
in the
main
sewer
thing.
and
Right.
dies,
Falls
and
in the
there's-
sewer and
yeah.
dies, and then he finds out there's more to
Right.
it than him just drowning in the sewer
Right.
and all that. But that they're all connected to him, and that's where when he meant they're in my home is because they're in all of his buildings. They had their bases literally.
Wayne building.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
because what you were talking about when he goes to the buildings, he right before it he asked Alfred, oh, can you he needs him to look up all the things that are just under Alan Wayne's name and were commissioned by
Oh,
him,
that's
and then he
right.
goes
And
to
then he
each
goes to
building
those. Right,
and then
right,
he
right.
finds all the different, and it's like going through history,
Different
starting
periods,
Right.
yeah.
right. It's like starts in like 1893 or something,
17th
something like that,
century.
right?
Yeah.
And then it just keeps going into modern time,
Yeah.
and that's where you first see the talent in the picture,
Well,
and all that.
so let's just talk about it. Like the Court of Owls is such a cool villain. It's such a cool opposition.
I love
you
just
know?
the mystery. I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Detective Batman is peak Batman
Right.
because
Yeah, yeah.
that's what he started off as.
Right.
Was the greatest detective, and this is just in his element.
Yeah.
and I love it so
I
much.
agree with that, and this shows his detective side a lot, but he just keeps denying the
Yeah,
fact that exists.
I
It
mean,
takes him
and
a
it's
while.
like
one thing about being a detective is got to be open to every possibility.
Yeah.
And it's but I think that's also part of his childhood trauma.
I think
is
it's
that
totally the emotional aspect
Right,
of it.
because
He's like,
he-
no,
Yeah.
it can't be real because
I
If it was
looked,
real,
I looked
then-
so hard,
Right.
and I didn't find shit.
And
so
it's
no,
hard.
it can't be real.
since this is an issue 1 and it's like a restart of continuity, I don't know, does he know Joe Chill is the killer? Has he come
No,
to
he-
terms with that? You know,
He talks about Joe Chill.
right? And honestly, even in current continuity, they flip
It always
sometimes.
changes,
But it's
yeah.
it's I think the part of it is he's come to terms with a large amount of it. And now it's oh, if this is real and
some
it
new
is
info.
connected, it's this whole thing. But I think what I love about the Court of Owls is it's not a single bad guy that you can punch. It's not a someone you can throw in jail. It is
just an idea that he has to fight.
And it's something that has been going on for way longer than Batman, way longer than Bruce Wayne, way longer than his parents. Like, it is generations deep, and not only that, but it is in his family.
Right.
Not in his family, but
but
connected
it's
to
connected
his family.
to very much connected to his
Right.
family and just with the city as
Right.
well, which is obviously the main thing is that
He doesn't
Batman
know
coming to terms with that this isn't his city and that maybe it can be, but at this point in time it has not been his city and he just didn't know it.
Batman might be Gotham, but Gotham is not Batman, you know? And that is super, super cool, which, again, like talking about the story in the future, that's why I fucking hate that Lincoln March, like, he kills a bunch of the Talons or whatever, and then he becomes the villain, the one bad guy that you can just punch or
They had
explode
to throw like
I'm like,
somebody.
that's so
Somebody's
lame.
got to be the scapegoat.
So much of the cool part of the Court of Owls is that they're in the shadows and they've been operating for who fucking knows how long, and they've got plans on plans on plans. Like, it's a perfect counter to Batman, except for the fact that it's not one person. Batman is one man powerhouse, and obviously he's got Alfred and the Bat family, but he's a one man
Alfred's the
powerhouse
goat.
doing all this stuff, and then there's this entire League of Shadows, even though it's not the League of Shadows, but it's like this whole fucking like insidious society that is antithetical to him. Batman is the elite of Gotham, but issue 1 starts with him proposing a new plan for Gotham's future and a way to uplift the city and the citizens, and the Court of Owls is literally the opposite. They are the rich people that have been like seeding the corruption this whole time so that they can stay the elite. So it's just such a great foil. And then, I don't know, are we going to like summarize issue by issue? Because I just want to fucking talk about it. I just want to talk about it.
This is old, but
Well, I think we should maybe get to Lincoln March a little later.
Okay.
I will say, because I think...
He's
specifically-
part of the story.
Well,
He's,
right,
is.
but
Right.
that's what I think we should talk about that first, is just them introducing him as a character.
Right.
And how, I mean...
he's just
we'll start with
we talked
Lincoln
about
March
it.
and we can get to Thomas Wayne.
he's
Jr.
just
later.
Harvey
Right,
Dent.
because...
That's
Yeah.
all he he's just the like good faced politician that Bruce can be like, oh, there are good people out here just
Yeah.
to fuck him over again.
Right.
You know? I feel like anyone that reads it, as soon as that guy comes on, you're just like, it's a new guy, he's interacting, he seems like a big
Yeah.
player, this guy's not gonna be great. And I think
It's the same thing with Hush.
That, I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
say,
sure,
that's
sure.
the whole
Hush.
thing with Hush, is
Yeah.
that they introduce a new character who's close to Bruce. I mean, Lincoln isn't exactly close with him
Yeah,
in that
not
way
super.
as
But they trust each other.
right. But yeah,
Ish.
you know, like they form a bond at least. But you know, fucking, of course they're gonna just throw that away right at the very end.
Yeah, Hush is cool because he doesn't replace an entire fucking like secret society.
We
He's
can talk
just-
about Hush another
Well,
day, but
Yeah.
I think honestly the thing with that though is that I think that like he's, as you guys were saying, they just need someone for him to beat up in a lot of ways. But I think they also felt like just having this underground secret society wasn't enough of a plot twist, that they needed to do the whole thing with, and he's got a brother, and it's just like it's a little too
I feel
much.
like they also maybe
too
didn't
much.
know how to continue with the Court of Owls in that way, because they were like, oh, I mean, he's already kind of got the Gotham ones all settled out. What is he gonna go on a hunt for every single one,
Yeah.
or should we just have our guy just kill them off and then he can fight just the one dude?
Which I think they were saying that several slipped away, and I think it kind of leaves.
Yeah.
The implication to me
ambiguous.
was
I mean,
that
yeah,
the
the
ones,
implied
the actual,
There's still
the
people.
smart ones didn't die. You know, it's like
Right.
it's like
They
all the
didn't
dumb
drink.
ones that are just kind of like in there, and they're just like
They're
whatever
in
at
the
this
society,
point.
but they're not higher up.
Yeah.
or
It's like
whatever.
the ones that are slippery little eels.
I like them. I like them leaving the Court of Owls on the table.
Yeah,
I think leaving.
but also you need to let Batman win in his first.
yeah,
Right.
know?
Well, dude, at the end of issue 6, at the end of just the Court of Owls, he fucking barely wins.
He
He just escapes
No, that's the
barely
thing.
with his life.
You have to build up your Batman run as like this guy's not getting messed up all the time. You know,
Well,
some
and
people
were
need you.
talking
You
about
need him to
how,
win.
Like Scott Snyder wrote Batman
Yeah,
very
you need
cocky
him to-
and,
yeah.
and a little
Cocky,
and a little like
powerhouse.
a little arrogant, and I think that's great in this because he does get his ass kicked. His arrogance
does.
leads
He
to him
does.
getting
Humbled
fucking
very
pummeled.
quick.
Yeah.
And something that's a problem with Batman, especially when he's written in team books like Justice League, is like because he is human, because he doesn't have powers, he has to be like exceptional to stack up to Wonder Woman, Superman, whoever. And And so there's like they call it the Bat God phenomenon, where like Batman is always right and he can do no wrong and he's always perfect and he's always 2 steps ahead. So I think like his arrogance, not only blinding him to the possibility that the Court of Owls is real, but also just getting him into situations where he gets his ass kicked over and over again because he just underestimates the Talons. I think it's great, and I think Scott Snyder perfectly balanced it. It shows you that Batman is confident, and he should be, but also like this is totally blindsiding. This is something he is not ready for.
Let's pick it up.
Yes.
On
Let's talk about how Dick Grayson, Nightwing, allegedly was supposed to be a Talon, and I just don't like that whole plot line.
Well, I don't care.
He's supposed to be a
about it
random
necessarily.
kid that gets picked up by Batman, and they train him, but he's supposed to have this other calling, and it's just like, why even include it if you're not going to follow up on it?
So they do hardcore in his comic, and it's terrible.
Oh yeah,
It's
I didn't know it was
historically
bad.
my brother's the biggest Nightwing fan, and they do a whole thing where he's like invades the Court of Owls and is an owl for like month after month. He's just in there, no Nightwinging, and then he gets shot in the head, becomes Rick Grayson.
Wait, is that what leads into Rick Grayson?
Yeah, so it's
didn't know
What the
that.
fuck
it's
is
no
Rick Grayson?
Nightwing.
Whoa.
It's no Nightwing. He's only like an owl, like doing secret agent shit, and then he gets shot in the head and becomes like still not.
Is that like
You don't get
Spiral?
Nightwing for like a year.
Like
You don't get
what?
like any Nightwing and Nightwing for like a year.
Nightwing was part of like some agent organization called Spiral.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
part of it.
different-
I think.
Oh,
I
is
think.
that
I
part
think.
of it?
I think it's close in timeline. Like I think
Well, I
it's.
think Rick
Because
Grayson
bro has a whole omnibus of him doing that.
Yeah, just absolute shenanigans.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't read a lot of
Absolute
it.
Shenanigans.
I didn't read a
new
lot of it,
series
but-
coming out next,
Yeah.
next week.
New in the Absolute
Yeah.
Universe.
I think
Shenanigans.
Dixon got him, and then he did a really great run.
Well, I'm glad they follow up on it, but the fact that they did it is still not.
I mean, the fact
Yeah,
that it
no,
wasn't
it's not
good
good.
is
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him being a wannabe circus boy and then getting
and
picked
then
up.
just turning
and
into Batman's
he's,
sidekick.
He's
and then he
apparently
becomes his
been
own thing.
groomed. Like, what is this? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah,
like it's the
a
stinger
little.
at the end of issue 1 is like
it's
Alfred.
a good cliffhanger.
And but
It,
then
it is a good
literally
cliffhanger,
doesn't
but yeah,
matter.
and then it
But it
does
doesn't
no,
matter.
and
Yeah.
then
Batman's-
they dismiss it right after, and they're
Yeah.
like, no, I checked the security cameras, you weren't there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Batman's like, oh, I knew it couldn't have been real, and it also like the explanation for it was some random crazy person like scratched him on the street. or
Well,
something.
no,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was the guy that died.
Well, yeah,
Shot
but,
them, but
it's
yeah.
just- yeah. Some guy came up to him and held him a little too tight.
Let's
And he
let's
got,
talk
got his
about
skin.
that panel though. I feel like going into it, it's like
Which-
okay,
which
this is
one
kind
are
of
we
a dark,
talking about?
gritty. Just the ending,
The
pretty
very
much
end
of the
one
first
with
one.
the
not
match.
the Grayson one though, where you see the body and it's got like 50 blades in him.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like-
when they
It's like
when they
Batman's
look at
dark,
it.
but I remember when I read this several years ago, I was just like, dang, this run's really like getting gritty fast, you know?
I should have mentioned
Right.
this. This was my first ever
one
comic
right
I
there.
ever read as a kid. And
Nice.
This is your
This is a
first
good
ever one.
I didn't know what.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah,
I
that's
would have thought it
crazy.
was Spider-Man.
checked
Yeah.
this out at the library, took it home,
Heck yeah.
read it.
Library
Saw some
comics?
shit.
I did that. That's how you gotta
yeah.
do it.
And yeah, that is crazy. That is basically
dark.
That's the inciting incident, obviously.
It's dark.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like
It's
I mean,
brutal.
yeah, dude
it's
is
very
literally like
brutal.
crucified just with
Yeah.
throwing knives sticking out of him.
It,
A
it gave me
pinwheel.
it gave me
And it-
seven vibes.
it
you know?
becomes like the
Pincushion.
Talon's
Yeah, that's what I
calling
meant.
card,
Seven
throwing
vibes.
knives and getting stabbed a million times. That's
Right.
like the Talon's thing, which the Talon is so cool.
The Talon
Yeah.
is the coolest part of the entire story, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I'm
Zombie warriors.
yeah. I think I was really into the almost Lovecraftian vibes of this one. Like the mythos they build up. Have you guys heard of the 13th floor stuff before? So that's real. Like actual buildings, they
the-
don't have a 13th floor. It's
Yeah,
either,
I've heard
it's
about
either
that,
used
yeah.
for like in hotels,
really?
it'll be for like laundry or something, or
Uh-huh.
it'll be small. But yeah, that's an actual like
Superstition.
actual superstition that's in practice in buildings.
Is
and
that why
in
the 13th
cities that
floor
have-
is a haunted house?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's part of
Because of
that.
that?
That's a whole thing.
So there's
Um,
like cultural
yes.
significance
Okay.
So
to
there's
it, too.
reality there, and so I think that mixing that blend of like them talking about how cities are superstitious, and then this has obviously got more going on than our superstitions tend to. But I think that
Right.
mixing real life urban legends with their urban legends is cool.
Yeah.
I
No,
was into
I
that.
agree.
I was very into that.
And I like just his whole monologue just about how owls are just the natural predators of bats.
Yes.
And his whole thing
Yes.
Yeah.
of just how
That's
like
great.
they are the perfect hunters against me, and this whole
Yeah.
just arc is just him getting his ass kicked by these owls.
Yeah.
I love when he's in the labyrinth and he's fighting the Talon. He's like, I'm fucking sick of hearing about owls.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
That's
sick
what
of
I'm
it.
saying. He's
And when
like,
when Lincoln's in the hospital after the Talon attack in the tower, and he starts saying the rhyme, and he's like,
Yeah.
I've heard that rhyme so
Too many times.
Yeah.
times,
Yeah.
man.
Dude, yeah, you get sick of it. It's pretty funny
And it's
too.
like-
Seeing him that fed up is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Batman pushed to a corner is always cool.
Dude, when he's in the labyrinth and he's just like he just fucking transforms.
He's a creature.
That's
yes.
so
creature
So
of the
that's when I for some reason forgot that he's writing Absolute Batman somehow. And I when I saw him turn into that thing, I was just like, man, this is like Absolute Batman. Like they blocked him to so much of a corner, he became like a creature. And I'm like,
And then
oh,
you
of
just
course
see,
he wrote
and then
that.
you read Absolute
Like
Batman
that
and then-
brutality. Yeah, it's like that's part of him, which is really cool.
Yeah.
The Labyrinth issue
Amazing.
is just
Labyrinth's my
Brilliant.
insane,
favorite.
man. Like
Blew my mind when I first read that.
It's really cool.
reading it and then having the flip is so cool.
Yes.
And,
The
like,
whole
turning it
Yes.
you going
Reading it
along
upside down
with
is
his
amazing.
downfall.
They're making
Yes.
the readers tweak out with him.
Yes.
What more could you want? Interactivity,
Him having
guys.
to drink the water even though it's poisoned because
Yeah.
or else he would die.
I mean,
probably.
right.
I mean, and it just shows you like even though this Batman is arrogant and will get himself beat the fuck up, like Batman is just all about perseverance, and like that's my favorite Batman is like just persevering, getting his shit pushed in, and still fucking like figuring a way out, you know. And that's what that issue 5 and 6 is all about. You know?
I like this one genuinely breaks him down a bit though, because it's
Yeah.
like like in the maze, one of his eyes is like out of the cowl and it's all like crazed.
Yeah.
And then afterward, when he escapes and he's talking to Alfred and he sees the
the
dude up
suit,
there,
yeah.
if you see that reflection, it's like that's one of the most like haunting images of Batman being like genuinely afraid I've ever seen. It's like he's kind of like Daredevil. He's kind of the man without fear,
Right.
and stuff. And it's like even when he got broken down by Bane, he was more of like a hurt dog. In this one, he was more like he was genuinely
He was
like
terrified.
traumatized.
Yeah. I mean,
So
the
that's
whole,
cool. Yeah,
I
I'm down
also
for
just
that.
like throughout the labyrinth when he keeps just talking to himself about how he is the knight, but you can just see him like looking at every little thing. He's just
Yeah.
so paranoid and just like checking every little crack everywhere,
Yes.
just on the walls, on the floor.
The picture room is also really cool.
Amazing.
Like
The
just
vibes are
absolutely
insane.
Messing
after
with him.
picture,
Yeah.
picture after picture of
Like,
Batman.
yes.
I like to think it's like kind of funny. Like some talent is just in charge of like putting a
Snapping
new one
it.
up.
Yeah, yeah.
Putting a new one up.
Putting it there.
It's like they're all just laughing at him, and that's just so cool.
And that's-
And like I've read not a lot of Batman, but with the amount I've read, this is still the most fucked up I've ever
agree.
seen him.
Yeah.
at,
I agree for sure.
which is crazy because this came out a while
Even
ago.
like
Right.
Last Night Alive, which he also wrote, and like Dark Knight's Metal, I was thinking of because that's the only time Batman and Joker actually do fight together.
I didn't know that this team, Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, I didn't know that they were the ones who invented fucking Batman Who Laughs. I had
Yeah,
no
they
Wait,
idea.
did.
what?
They
Scott
did.
Snyder-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
it's all part of the whole New 52.
Yeah.
bullshit.
So he does go back
What
to
a
that
fucking
Batman and
character
Joker
that guy
fighting.
is.
Yeah. But I think it's
Fuck
like
that
even
guy.
in those ones where they're like multiversally messing with Batman, he's still not. I
No,
think
like-
that
Yeah.
this is the most like vulnerable you get him. I
Generally
think.
just broken down.
Yeah.
And I love
he is
just-
in his unknown. Like he doesn't.
Yes.
He's always knows what's going on, but
Right.
in the labyrinth
This-
he is.
He was
not
just
knowing what's
confused, scared.
You guys were talking earlier about how they bring up like Dick Grayson being kind of groomed to be a Talon, and that kind of
Grooming
goes
Dick.
nowhere in this story. Can we talk about how after he escapes, some random blue-haired chick wakes him up in a fucking cave?
Well,
and
I
he's
don't know
like,
who that is.
I told you not to do that, and
I
then
would-
he
I
just runs
would've-
away. I had to look that up.
Is she like
That's a new
in it?
52 character named Harper
Dude.
Rowe, codenamed Bluebird. She's just like a Nightwing character who is like a hero in Gotham.
Oh, okay.
As well. Like not necessarily Bat Family, but Bat Family adjacent.
Family-esque.
She's
Sure.
she's
She
a hero.
knows Bat Family.
I don't know if
Like
she's a hero
Azrael
yet.
kind of like their own thing,
right.
but
I don't know if she's a
interacting.
hero yet. I don't know if she's Bluebird yet, but she's Harper Rowe in here, and she obviously knows Batman. And what the fuck was that?
That was
Why
pretty
was
random.
she even in?
Yeah.
What did that even fucking
Somebody
do?
had to
It's
revive
just
this
setup,
guy.
man. It's just
Who
setup.
else is gonna restart his heart?
I forgot that fucking happened by the end
is
of it.
weird.
I was like, wait, when he escapes the labyrinth, how does he get out? And I'm like, oh yeah, some random fucking.
Can we
chick
talk about
wakes
him
up.
escaping the labyrinth with the camera lens?
Oh my god, it's so cool.
It's so random too.
It is
so
random,
cool.
but
Sick,
it's
though.
so Batman.
No, it is
Just
sick.
finding some random shit on the
No,
ground
it
and
is
being
sick.
like, I can use this.
I took
Yeah.
this chemical from the water and this other chemical from the fucking camera, and I exploded it because
and
the
I
marble
scratched it with
softer
my
than regular
batarang and
marble.
bam!
No, it was
Oh,
cool.
Coming
dude,
up with all
so
that while
cool.
drugged is crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, while
Yep.
literally just dying and not himself.
So I think that the interesting things this does as a rebirth style thing is that it introduces you right away to Gotham and things you're familiar with, and it's like, okay, this isn't too different, and then it instantly brings you into this guy's second guessing the world he's used to, which I think is a rebirth kind of thing. And then it drops you into the labyrinth, which is not Gotham. It's like Batman's always in Gotham. So to start your thing and to be like, okay, sure, you know Gotham and you know Batman. This is like a little
him in a
weird.
big maze.
And
Yes.
now he's in the middle of this like Lovecraftian maze, and he's not exactly the Batman you're familiar with because it's a little bit of a reboot. And it's like all you have to go off of is like, I like Batman and I want this guy to live, and then you're just learning about him that whole
Yes.
time. And it's like it doesn't give you anything to be like, you know, it gives you the Bat family in the beginning and being like, you know, this guy's not, it's still the Bat family, everything's going on, and then they drop him in the middle of nowhere. And it's just like, now who is he? You know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's how. And then he eventually just beats up the Talon and
He
escapes
does.
barely. And
It's
then,
like adrenaline mode.
yeah.
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 And that's how the first volume ends.
Yeah, it's
Like what
messed
a
up.
banger.
He just gets
It's
shit
banger.
on. The whole Court of Owls sends out their talons, and it's just like, wow, this is how the first volume ends. So
He wins by like just
not
barely
dying.
not dying.
Yeah, not
Just
dying.
barely not dying.
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
win.
No,
and
seriously.
that leads to the event, obviously.
Yeah.
Night of the Owls,
Night of the
where
Owls.
Even-
everyone's dealing with bullshit. But as far as the main story goes in this compact, it's my favorite scene in the Batcave. Dude, that
That
shit
one's
The
is-
sick.
Batcave
Yeah.
was a great
That's so
scene.
Cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
that is one of my favorite.
Too bad you miss all of it. And like,
Yeah, kind of. I want to go back to the clock tower really quick though. That
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
time
Oh,
that
yeah.
the Talon shows up
Ooh,
is
yes.
like, it's crazy that he shows up and it's not in a scene you would think that an enemy would, because it's just these two
just
dudes
comes up
talking.
Broad
Broad
daylight.
daylight.
just
Yeah.
there.
It's like
Yeah.
Sunny.
Yeah, and
He's Bruce Wayne
I
at
think
this
it's
point.
sick that he's pulling his
Yeah.
punches for a second and he's just like, okay, this foe is so formidable.
fuck
I don't
it.
care as much about hiding my identity as I do
Yes.
about taking him out. And then he gets stabbed like twice. Like he's taking damage, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then he pretty much just lives because he like knows that there's that extra gargoyle. Well, the whole gargoyle thing was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's
all
awesome.
the Guardians.
That's
That was
Yeah,
great.
no, I like
I was
that.
down
just
for
like
that.
in his head thinking like, how am I gonna survive?
Yeah,
this?
I'm cooked.
I'm gonna grab this gargoyle
gonna-
that no one knows
That
about.
no one knows
Yeah.
The
about.
Guardian of the Air.
Yeah.
I know where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I thought that was cool.
And I love how, like you said, he is forced to kind of go a little harder than he would outside of his costume.
Yeah.
And that ends up being how Lincoln March knows that Bruce is Batman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I please talk about
Butterfly
Thomas Wayne
effect.
Jr.? I fucking
We
I
can
don't
let's
like
do it.
We're
Yeah,
so-
I mean, okay, so we're entering. Let's do the cave.
The cave.
And then we'll
Cave,
lead
yeah.
into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't go to Lincoln.
And as far as the cave goes, it's just
It's just
badass,
cool.
man.
I mean,
And
It's
before that too, when they're just invading his house.
Oh,
Insane.
they're throwing hands
him just in
on
the
roof
robe,
and
just
that, like,
fighting.
Yeah.
Like,
What am
and it's basically like Batman being able to just fuck them up as much as possible without holding back, like able to like quote unquote kill them because they won't die. So it's just cool Batman action that we haven't seen, or I haven't read in a while, I guess.
I mean, him just stabbing the Talon with I don't know what it's called,
I was
but
gonna
like
say
the weather.
the weather thing on
Yeah.
top. That was
Him
the
just grabbing
coolest
it and like
shit.
breaking one of the axes and just
Yes,
stabbing
that
it
was.
in the eye.
It's one of my favorite moments from the whole thing is when he does that. It's just like
Yeah.
dude's on the roof and he still finds a weapon. And
He's
it's just
like, I
you
need a
have
weapon.
to wonder. Is that an actual part of the mansion, or did he put it up there because he's like, I need a weapon everywhere?
He's like, 'Cause
then
he's
he
like,
jumps in
I
the
know.
chimney like
at-
Santa.
And then he
at
presses a
some
button
point-
and
goes
goes
in the chimney like
and
Santa
he just
Claus, dude.
slides in, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's locked."
It's crazy.
That's really
And as far as like upping the stakes, like he spent the whole first 6 issues
Taking out
fighting
one
one
guy.
Talon, and now like
There's like
over
10
20
of them in his
are invading
house.
his house where
Yeah.
he lives, and he has to improvise and all that, and it just leads into the cave
the bat armor.
where Alfred
Bad armor.
and him are trapped in the vault or whatever.
It's
The
the
armory.
armory. Yeah.
Armory, yeah.
I mean, it's basically a
Pretty much
vault.
a vault.
They
Yeah.
have to lower the
Shooting at, like, a
temperature
big
and
door.
all that, and it's just quick thinking on his feet, which is just cool Batman that we like.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
He's like, just turn it down, and then Alfred just keeps warning him. He's like, "Sir, this is gonna fucking kill you." And he's like, "Not if I'm wearing this
Not if I'm wearing
13
this."
inches
Yeah.
of fucking Kevlar."
Yeah.
And the symbolism is great with like they mention how
Yes.
owls don't make their own nests, they
Uh-huh.
invade
They invade,
others.
right.
And it's like that whole thing, and then having it all they're just physically invading his actual house. It's like that was cool. Like
Yeah.
it's a little corny, but it's sick.
Bro,
It's
and
I
so
the
love,
bad.
I love all the
too.
owl, the little
Yeah.
real life owl, just
Yeah,
like
they're around.
facts that are going with
Yes.
what's happening in the comics. It was
Well, they were
just
talking about
nice.
the
Well, that's kinda
backstory
like-
of the manor.
That's kind of like Absolute Batman too. At the end of every issue,
Right?
it's
Yeah,
like-
because I mean
Yeah.
the whole thing is
bats
him-
bats are
bats are crazy.
bats
are
are
cuckoo.
crazy.
Bats are crazy.
The most recent one doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Bats
I
have
remember.
long lives. Anyways, fucking, what was I gonna say? I was when the Talons are breaking in, I'm super scared for Alfred. That's that's just stakes because Batman's not gonna fucking die. I'm not worried about him dying.
No.
Also, I'm such a sucker for any time real life bats, like a swarm of bats.
Oh yeah, I'm down for that too.
I
Yeah.
love it. Man.
I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I know it's got to pop up at some point.
I love
And
it.
I was
you know,
into it.
I will say it was a good point to have him come up
Yeah.
because then
It is corny though. I agree.
it is really corny.
My
But
favorite
'cause
part is like when they talk about the history of the manor, and they're like, there was a bat infestation, so we let a bunch of owls come in and kick them out. But they always come back.
they always
And
come
they
back,
all come down.
and then
Yeah.
whoosh,
Take him down,
and they just like
and
distract him.
and then Batman gets his armor messed up and he's out of it, and Alfred's like, "You're cooked." And he's like, "No, the bats are fine out here. I'm chilling." He's just like, "If the
are
bats
with
can
me.
do it,
I got
I'm
the
okay."
homies.
Yeah.
And then Alfred comes in for the last little hoorah with the penny.
Yes.
You're lucky, penny,
Lucky
sir.
penny.
Dude, he
That's
activates
The dinosaur?
the dino.
So-
He activates
Oh,
the dinosaur.
dude, steps on him
dinosaur.
He's a
The
security guard,
dinosaur,
or a security
man.
dog, or
That's
whatever.
crazy.
I
Fido.
haven't met my guard dog.
Yeah.
Beep. I know that's really cool.
That's crazy. Yeah,
and
no,
that's
that was
like
insane.
kind of like where the story peaks for me. Not gonna lie, because
It's,
like
it's good.
Night of the Owl, a bunch of
Yeah.
shit's going on, and then
And a dinosaur moves.
dinosaur moves.
Robotic dinosaur. I mean, that's just like exactly peak Batman, where he's just planning for literally everything.
And
he
it's
knew,
goofy.
He knew at one, and it's goofy. It just reminds me of Adam West.
It's like
Yeah.
it's
But-
like golden age shit.
Yes.
Where the-
but it's
where the-
just like
yeah.
He's balancing it. He's
Right.
going
What
to
is-
edgy
what
and
is
he's
the
going.
logistics of owning a giant penny and a giant T-Rex.
obviously
Well,
as
what if it
traps.
moved?
Yeah.
What if it crushed some people? I mean,
Yeah.
come on,
They're
guys.
all weapons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's a weapon.
And it's such an icon of Batman. The
Yes.
Batcave with the giant penny. It's so
Right.
iconic and just like
I don't even know how we got that.
yeah. So it's,
I mean, we're young. We don't know how that got there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's-
it's
yeah.
there.
It's
I
there.
always
It's
remember
always
that
been
that's
there.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Something to
If
do
you're
with
an old
Two-Face,
head,
probably.
inform us, please.
Yeah.
It has to be Two-Face.
Something with
I mean, come
Two-Face.
on.
I don't know about the
It's a whole
dinosaur
coin.
at all, though. That's also
No, I
always
don't
been
know.
there, and I'm like,
But
I don't know.
He's just there.
Batmite or
and
something.
I didn't Batmite.
I don't know.
Brave and the Bold.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
could be.
I
god.
love Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
Can we talk?
Oh,
can we
and
talk
like,
about Thomas Wayne Jr.?
yes.
Go off on this motherfucker.
And as far as like how that issue ends, it's like him finishing the fight, and he's like, they're trying to. Alfred's like, we gotta settle down, and bro hops in the fucking Batmobile
Bat-
and heads out for the night.
Yep.
And that is just.
and then he runs over that one trying to escape. He's like, he's a healing factor.
Yeah.
He'll be
Yeah.
fine.
He's already
Yeah.
dead. It doesn't matter.
And then that leads to him finding out a bunch of shit, which I'm sure you have.
Which
thoughts about.
Yeah.
now let's get into.
Okay, so look, man. Here's the thing, especially with the Jarvis Pennyworth fucking backup issues. Like, Thomas Wayne Jr. should be the older brother, not the younger brother. It doesn't fucking
Yeah.
make sense.
I agree.
You're telling me that this whole time, Batman had a brother that he knew about, he just thought was dead. Like, and it just doesn't.
Okay, wait.
Like,
Really quick. So in the extra issues, which I did read the first time I read through this, but I didn't reread them. So is it say that that's canon that Thomas is like that he is his brother? Is that what it does?
No, it still leaves it up to
okay.
interpretation.
so
'cause
Lincoln
in
March
the-
being Thomas Wayne is ambiguous.
Right.
You don't know that Lincoln March is Thomas Wayne, but Thomas Wayne did exist. There was a
Yeah,
younger
yeah.
brother.
He was alive
they
for one
mentioned that
night.
in the,
That's the
like,
whole
There was a
thing.
car
Official-
accident,
yeah.
yes, and,
Yeah,
and
they
it
do mention
did exist, but it like just didn't affect Bruce at all. It didn't affect Batman at all.
Yeah.
It's
well,
like
he was 3.
Yeah,
if he was
a child.
if it was the older brother.
Yeah.
And it was like their first attempt at having a child.
And he was in the car.
Right. And
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just. It's
the
just-
car crash is on the corner of Lincoln and March, guys.
I didn't
That's
even,
where
I
he
didn't even
gets
know
his
that.
fucking no. In
that
the
was
Jarvis,
goofy,
in the
man. That was
Jarvis
goofy.
Pennyworth
I didn't know that.
little
Stupid.
after story when he's
That's
talking about, he's
silly.
like, I shouldn't have gone in the, I shouldn't have told us to get in the car, and then he's like, oh man, and then the corner on the corner of Lincoln and March, and it's
like,
just
what?
the car
Oh,
crash.
That's
But it's like
crazy.
that. That's how he got his fucking
Dumb.
name. That's how they came
Yeah.
up with it. They were like,
To be completely fair, Aaron, it's not like he would care about his unborn brother's death when his parents like died like a week later.
Yeah, but he never brings him up. Talking
Well,
about how he lost his family, and he never
don't-
brings
I
up how he almost
He
had a
had
younger
no
brother and did.
relationship with
Unborn.
him.
He was 3. I don't think he remembered it really.
Well,
I'm
he,
just
he
saying-
talks about it though. He's like,
I think he
He was
remembered.
he was like he was alive for one night because that's
Yeah,
the whole
I don't
thing.
think
is-
he remembered.
Well,
it.
yeah,
Never
obviously,
comes
not-
up
not at
ever.
all.
If it was an older brother that happened, like all of that happened before Bruce Wayne. And why would you have a child and name him Bruce Wayne, and then the second one is Thomas Wayne Jr.? That's just stupid. Also, with the Jarvis backup story, what? So Jarvis is taking care of Bruce as like a young child, but I feel like in so much media, Alfred is there taking care of Bruce as a child.
Yeah.
And then and Jarvis is writing to Alfred like, "Oh, I'll never see you laugh again. I'll never see you smile again," as if Jarvis is also a young child at this time, which means he was like the same ish age as Bruce. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It would make so much more sense if the Jarvis story is happening and like in the first part of the backup, like the first backup issue, the first part of the story, he refers to Bruce as the young master, like, oh, my new young master. Like, it'd make so much more sense if it was like a red herring. Like, you think it's Bruce this whole time, and then it actually turns out that one is Thomas Wayne Jr. and he dies in a car crash. And Jarvis actually never did take care of Bruce because he died before Bruce. And then Alfred comes in right around the same time that Bruce is born later. And then, so yeah, Alfred is with Bruce his whole life. There is a former butler and a former young Wayne, but it all happens before Bruce and Alfred anyways. I just think that would be a lot cleaner. I think the mystery would be better if it was an older brother instead of a younger brother. I just feel like it just doesn't slot into continuity well. You're changing too much. I think it's fine if you just change that. If you just, instead of a younger brother, he's an older brother, especially with all the Jarvis stuff, instead of Alfred, I think it just lines up so much better if you just make that small change. But that's not how it is. That will always piss me off.
I think that I don't love them messing with the family stuff at all. So I think that them making it much more likely and possible that it's really just the Court of Owls taught Thomas or whatever to believe it. And I think that making Dick Grayson one of the Court of Owls, I think that is Scott Snyder instantly being a little bit afraid of like digging his talons into Batman lore. He's like, he instantly, I think, wants to shake stuff up and he's trying to implement, he wants to be the Killing Joke. He wants to leave a permanent mark, which he does on the Batman legacy. And I think that those two choices that none of us were super into, and I think almost no one was, are like, you can tell he feels a little bit maybe hungry or desperate, maybe to
like
make an impact right away. And it's like, I'm not into it. I love him believing that he was the brother, not into him being the brother. I'm not even into the unborn child thing. I'm like, it's just too weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
too weird.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
I agree. I don't think Lincoln March is Thomas Wayne Jr.
No,
because
I
I
think
don't
he's
want
just
that
a
to be
schizo.
true.
Yeah.
I love that angle of him being
was
a
great.
schizo.
Yes.
But again, I think all of that would just work
I agree.
so
No, I
much
agree with
better
that.
if he was an older brother.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like it's such an obvious, clear thing to do.
Learning that he was supposed to be the younger one, I agreed. I was just like, what?
Like, why is he?
Yeah.
Why? So Bruce already existed. I really don't like that Jarvis was taking care of Bruce. Like, I don't know if that's like an established thing, but like,
Yeah, I don't think so.
because like in original like fucking like Golden Age continuity, like Alfred didn't even show up until after Robin. You know, like Alfred comes in late in the game. He did not take care of Bruce as a child. But that's like a different Alfred. That is not the Alfred we know.
Right.
So
And
like
there's lore where he like raised Thomas, right? Pretty much like he was Thomas's butler and then he becomes Bruce's. Like there's lore where it's like he's old.
Well, there's.
I mean,
a lot.
the obvious cop out is that this is after Flashpoint. But
Right.
either way,
Right,
it's
new
just
continuity,
bad.
right.
Either way, it's just bad storytelling. Don't mess with
weird.
don't mess with the Wayne family.
Yeah.
I feel like
I don't know exactly how you would write Lincoln March to be connected to Batman
In a way that
way.
people would like.
Yeah, but
not-
I don't know.
it
it's
just
you make him an older brother, and then of course
just-
Bruce
that-
doesn't know
but
because
I
it all
don't
happened
even
before
do
him.
that.
like regardless of the family stuff, don't even make him a sibling. Just make
No.
him the leader of the Court of Owls. Or
Right,
something.
yeah,
Make
or
him
just he's
a higher up on the Court of Owls where he
was he was
decided to
supposed to
kill
be-
the weaker ones or something.
I hate his stupid fucking suit. His stupid fucking Talon Iron
Dude,
Man
okay,
suit.
the end one is just Iron Man. It's pretty bad.
It doesn't look
The suit
cool.
before that,
I like the
cool.
suit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the suit.
As far as him as a villain, it really is just like kind of shoot in and just for there to be
Yeah.
a final fight.
Yeah.
And
Needs a
I
boss,
don't like
big
mech.
boss.
I don't like mech fights, bro. They're just like,
Yeah.
what's the point of
Parts
suiting-
of it goes hard.
Him predicting his own death in a way, because like he's like, after they sent the Talon after me the first time, or after Bruce the first time, and then he got attacked too. He was like, they said it was an accident. I didn't believe him, so I drank the serum. So if they did kill me, I'd come back as a Talon. That's
Yeah.
great. That's an
Yeah.
amazing like complete like he's gone the full villain route because now he's like a fucking zombie and he's like invincible and he has all the powers. But
I don't
should-
think you should be able to drink it. I think the two things slowly doing it throughout your life is cooler.
Yeah.
I think if
Yeah.
it's
No, I
if
agree.
it's a
Yeah.
quick
Yeah.
like they already have the Lazarus pit, which is messed up.
Like-
it's like having a quick like you can just drink it and be.
just get your own super serum.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Super
thought
soda
that's
Too
how
strong.
they explained it too.
They
was
did.
that it's something that they have to prepare for. It's
Yeah.
not something you can do.
Electrium.
Yeah.
Right? Oh yeah.
Yeah, whatever it was.
Electrium.
Some
Is that a
chemical-
real mineral? Does that
I
actually
don't know.
exist?
I think
I
it's
think maybe.
electrium, something
Yeah.
like that. Isha, you want to fact check that?
I know it
feel like
comes
it's in
back
Terraria.
later. I think like Joker gets revived with Electrium.
With
or
electrum,
something.
does he
'Cause
get
it's like-
fucking Talon powers?
Well, it's like he like dies like in a bat cave, but it's like in a pool of water, and then they're like, oh, there's Electrium in the water. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's fucking Batman Who Laughs type bullshit too. I
Probably.
just know there's something like that happens eventually.
Yeah, yeah.
So as far as like how the arc ends, it's just
Kind of whatever.
March kills this faction of Quarter Owls, and then March allegedly
Steals
dies,
their money.
I guess.
Allegedly.
Oh,
Or no,
and
he
then-
escapes,
well,
I
they
guess.
don't find a body.
Yeah, he escapes, and then Batman's like, I'm gonna keep watching if the Quarter Owls come back up. So
So
And
It's
that's great. I
ambiguous.
love leaving
It's
it
just like-
ambiguous. I
Right.
think leaving the whether or not Lincoln March is Thomas Wayne Jr. I think that should be ambiguous. They should not confirm that either way. That
keep the
should
Quarter
just be
Owls
ambiguous.
around, but
I think
Yeah.
we
Leave him on the
gotta-
table.
keep Lincoln March separated from that from
Yeah,
now
we
on.
could have gotten rid of Lincoln March. His death didn't need to be so because he didn't die. It's not ambiguous.
It's
like,
comic
well,
books. It's
yeah,
comic
Yeah.
his
didn't
body
die.
was not found. He
It's
did
just
not
what will he
die.
do?
Does-
It's
do you
ambiguous
guys
on what
know,
he
does
will
he come
do
back?
now. What was that?
do you guys know if he comes back? I don't know.
I have no idea.
yeah, I don't know.
Either way, it has to set up the next 41 issues.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
He,
you know,
he
it's
probably
comic
shows
book
up
writing. We're
at
used
some
to it.
point.
It's
He probably
like,
teams up
Probably
with some
does.
other villain.
Yeah.
I mean,
feel
I
like-
wrote this down. It's like all comic books end like this. It has
Yes.
to be ambiguous.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's how Hush ended,
Yeah.
and which, by the way, this like the ending, both the endings for Court of Owl and Hush, end
same
with
thing.
it's the same thing, and they're my least
Well, Hush
favorite
is so much
parts.
Better.
I
I'm just saying
disagree there.
that,
I
but, like,
disagree there.
I know who's reading Hush 2 in a couple weeks.
Hush too.
Dude, the
What a-
ad for that, it looks so pixelated for no reason. Like it looks bad. And calling it Hush 2 is insane.
Hush Tua.
It looks it's
Tua.
horrible.
Wild.
I actually
wild.
can't
We're cutting
stand
that out.
it.
We're cutting
I
that out.
can't stand it.
No,
I'm
that
keeping
can
it in.
stay. That
It's
can
staying.
stay.
It's
Wait,
staying.
Isha, did
Jonas,
you find
to
out?
answer your question,
Yes,
yes,
yes, yes.
according to the internet, electrum is a naturally occurring alloy of gold
Hey,
and silver
look
with
at
trace amounts
that.
of copper and other materials.
There we
They
go.
do talk
Wow.
about copper and how it
Is-
interacts with it.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
can we talk about the art? I love
And the,
the
and
art.
the outfit
talk about
and
the
some of the
Capullo
paneling
is
is
such a
really
good
interesting.
artist.
Like the flipping upside down is the main thing. But
The lab, all the just freak out paneling.
yeah, just
with
the
them.
yeah. It's
all
got
the turning.
seat
I
build.
when I was reading it,
crazy.
I was reading it like up in the kitchen, and these guys were out there, and I was at that part
Yeah.
where like you gotta flip it. They're like, "Why the fuck are you reading it
Oh,
upside
okay.
down?"
That's even better.
I was like, "I have to, man.
We are rolling.
Okay.
Okay.
It's part of the story."
Yeah, really quickly before we wrap up this one of the most insane Batman things of the many infinite things he's done that's crazy is the fight takes him up into an airplane engine. He's hanging on like that one scene from Incredibles where the guy gets sucked
Syndrome.
up. He's just holding on there.
He's just
holding
there,
on while the
literally
jet
his
turbine
feet about
pulls
to get
him in.
Sucked in.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
let's pull up.
He
It's
pulls off
crazy.
some bullshit and survives.
He's got a bomb. He's
I
got a
don't even
bomb
remember
on
what
that
he does.
Put a
talon.
bomb on his
He
back.
puts a bomb on the talon. The
Oh,
explosion knocks him
yeah.
out of the turbine somehow.
Yeah.
And then
Doesn't hurt the plane at all.
it is what happens. And then he's got no cape. He's got
I
no
love
special
that.
armor, and he's just flying Fortnite style down, no glider.
Oh yeah, and then
He's just
and
diving.
he's like, maybe I should just die.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
It's
nah,
for a second.
it's calling back to me.
We
Yeah.
both
City's
got
calling.
work to do.
And then he went, I'm gonna lock in, fool.
He's like high velocity
Yeah.
spider cable.
high velocity rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Since
insane.
you just brought up the cape,
insane.
I just wanted to really quick talk about back to the labyrinth, where his cape is
Yes.
just tattered and so
Yeah.
long,
It's
and
beautiful,
it's
yeah.
constantly just following him
It's
like
become-
a shadow.
yeah.
It's so cool.
Any battle
Yeah.
damage costume is so cool.
It's great.
I love
And his
this, the
costume's
eye
great.
peeking out of it. The costume.
Yeah.
All the
The
art.
art-
The new
the art-
52 styles are great.
The
They do a good job.
Capullo fucking killed it
He's-
on the
yes.
art. I do not know much of his work or even of Scott Snyder's work with anything, but I really want to just see
But he
more
killed
of
it.
more of his
Yeah.
art. And yeah, he killed it. All just the emotion on their faces, you can see it, which is not something that's like hard for comic book artists, I'm sure. For some of them it is, but being able to just really show just that raw
Emotion,
emotion
yeah.
in a drawing and really feel it and understand what they're feeling is
Especially when they have cowls on.
yeah,
Yeah.
with a mask too and with
It's the
whited out
eyes.
eyes.
It's the
Yeah.
eyes.
And they show you him. Yeah.
Capullo draws the eyes really well.
Trying
Yeah,
to find
he
it. I love
does.
that POV panel of the Talon when the owl
Yes.
is, and then you see his
Yeah.
fucking gross hairy nipple.
Right.
When they're waking up,
Their pale bodies are grody.
all the veins peeking
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And obviously we've been critiquing, but overall, this is a pretty
Overall, it's a
pretty
good
goated
story.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we get some good action. The art is
The-
really good.
The paneling too. It's like not a lot of stories always take risks with it. I feel like Alan Moore's Swamp Thing does some weird stuff, but this one it's
Yes.
like they'll outline stuff in the shape of a bat, or they'll decide to flip it over, which was crazy. They'll have
Like
it.
with the Talon
The
goggles.
Talon eyes,
when-
you see stuff going on. It's like the
Yes.
paneling they do is like, especially for a new run, it's like they didn't go easy route. You know, I think
Or-
they really played with it.
There's one panel where you see Batman and Alfred talking through his cowl that like he put on his table, and I really like that one. I thought that's just a nice just depth that it gives to it, and yeah, just all the reflections off of the glasses, all the Talon scenes where he's hiding in the shadows with just the eyes peeking out, like
Yeah.
him in the manner when Alfred's going down into the Batcave and like. He opens the door and he runs in, and then the next panel is there's nobody there, and then you just see just a Talon, just the eyes peeking
Yeah.
through the back, and him like slowly creeping up. It's
Definitely.
just, it really gives that just sense of dread with them.
There's even little things like I noticed it when I was reading it online, but you can see it when you look at like the page cross section here. Some gutters are white, some are
Yeah.
black. I mean,
Right.
and it just
It
gives
just
such
fits
a
with it.
like it just really, and it's just little things like that. It's just such like a mastery of the medium.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I mean these are people who have fucking like written comics before. These are
Yeah.
people who know comics.
come into
you know?
their-
Definitely.
When
It's
I-
their
very, very
careers
good.
for it.
When I read this for the first time, I was on like an iPad on the digital version, and I remember when he's down in there and it's introduced, and he's like, "I'm staying in the shadows" and all this stuff. And then I was in the mode where it's like each panel and it kind of like flips between them. The next one, when the light flashes, it's like I was like in my dark room and it did flash me. And
Bam.
I was like, did they do that just for the digital version? I was like, oh, it's of course it's
No,
just
it's-
white.
Yeah.
But it's like the effect of that's one of the only times where I was like, man, the digital edition had something more to like add to that
enhanced it.
experience. Almost never do I feel
The
that
real
way.
life flash.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah,
The
no.
real life
It's like,
light
but
flash.
the other stuff for flipping it upside down is like really awkward, and it's like, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I love to read them physically. The compacts are
I mean,
pretty cool.
physically is always the best way to
yeah.
read
I mean, I
it.
was shitting on the compact, but it's
Yeah.
good. It's
I mean,
it's amazing
for
that
a
they
$10
did this.
such a wide
yeah.
story
Yeah.
arc
Getting
like
12
that.
issues pretty
it's
much.
nice. Yeah.
No,
So
it's
overall,
good.
we all liked it.
Banger.
Only,
everything.
I would
only
so
real
recommend it,
only
too.
critique is Lincoln March.
He's a little
course,
weird.
Of
Yeah.
course.
A
little bit
he's
of a-
just
I don't even. I wouldn't even say Lincoln March. I would say Thomas Wayne Jr. is my
Yes.
problem with it.
Yeah.
well, yeah, that's true.
I
I
think-
just
And like,
I don't even want to call him Thomas Wayne Jr.
Yeah.
yeah.
Neither do I.
You don't have to.
He's not him
yeah, guess what?
because it's ambiguous.
yeah.
And
Alright.
this series definitely like stood the test of time. Like they
Yes.
decided
Yeah.
to reprint it a million times. It's in
Yes.
the compact, and
This
a
is
lot
the
of-
Batman story they chose.
A lot of people say they would recommend starting here, either here or like Batman Year One or like Hush.
Right.
So I want you guys to think like, would you actually start here?
Yeah.
Because like
I would.
I don't
After-
like New 52. That's my only problem with it.
Yeah.
I
Well,
wouldn't- I don't
but
wanna-
if you're just getting into comics and you have no idea about all the rebirths like
very
that with New
digestible.
52, yeah, I think it's a very nice starting point to read, like to really understand Batman as a character, and just kind of and even just to branch off from it, so you can be like, oh, I like this. Can I let me find more Scott Snyder stuff, or let me find more Batman arcs that are very similar to Court of
Yes.
Owls.
Yeah.
And after also reading Hush and this one, I think I like Court of Owls more. I know
Yes.
Ryan has different opinions on that, but
Well, I'm just thinking like, if you're gonna start Batman somewhere, you want to get to know his rogues gallery. You want to get
Right.
to know how his dynamic works with his family. And
I mean,
this
Hush
doesn't-
is
This doesn't really get into that.
Not a
right.
lot.
No, I
Yeah,
agree with
but
you there.
As far as just badass Batmanry,
Just
like
just Batman in
this
his
is-
prime,
it's-
like
this
that.
is
It's just
cool,
good.
yeah.
It's cool stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it shows him confident and comfortable and being Gotham, and then it totally unravels all of that and leaves him. He doesn't even know. You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
It leaves it ambiguous in the end, which is great. Great for him. Great for us.
like
I
the
will say as a
mystery.
quick little side note, I asked ChatGPT what is the best Batman story, and Court of Owls came in as number 7.
Number 7. What's
What's
number
the-
1?
what's
What's
the
number
other?
1?
Long Halloween.
Long Halloween.
Oh, I have to read that one.
The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah,
from
right. And
That's
then,
foul.
then killing
That's
Joke and
foul.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
What?
3 Jokers.
Killing Joke.
Dude, no.
Yeah, I was like, Killing Joke, maybe.
I have those.
Yeah,
I
Killing
have
Joke's
all
up there.
3 of
It's number
those,
3.
and
That's
it's
fine.
fucking
What's 2
garbage.
then?
Batman Year One.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes
Frank
sense.
Miller.
Well,
That's,
year
That's
one
another
is good,
compact
but-
one.
Year one's
Halloween came as number 4.
Yeah.
What's 3? What's the third one?
The
I just said.
3rd one was Killing
Okay,
Joke.
Oh, that was okay.
So Court of
I didn't
Owls
hear
is
that.
at the bottom. It's number 7. Number 6 is Arkham Asylum.
Right.
By Grant Morrison. Really, really beautiful art style.
It's insane.
no, that one goes crazy.
That one's
mine is
psychedelic.
Hush. So Hush, according to the internet, is a better store than Court of Owls. Sorry.
Lies.
This is
Lies.
all
All I'm
coming-
saying is Court of Owls 2 isn't coming out.
I mean,
Thank
that's,
God,
you gotta
right?
fucking play.
Dude, Hush 2 is so dumb. I actually
it's a dumb
can't
name.
stand
No,
it.
Bad
why-
title.
Hush.
I hate it.
I picked up 3 DC comics this last week, I think, or 4. I picked up Absolute Batman, Absolute Flash, Absolute Superman,
Peak.
and the DC Sonic crossover. And
Also
guess what I
peak.
see in every single one of them? Hush 2.
Hush
I lost
2.
my mind, dude.
They're
I
pushing
can't.
it. They're pushing it.
They
I
want
can't.
this shit to be big.
Yeah.
I'm
like-
so glad you brought those issues up.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk
Okay.
about.
Yes, this is a
Yeah.
banger book. Read it. At the end of this episode, we're gonna spin a wheel and we'll see what it is next. Next
Oh, yeah.
time, your homework is to read it for next episode, so that you know
That's
what's
your
going
job.
on.
The
For the
people
first
at home,
episode,
you
don't
lovely
know.
people.
Call to action, interactivity.
Yes, read.
You can
literature.
read along.
So now, are we getting into more
And-
current stuff now?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so I think the
I'm
thing
happy
on
with
all of
that.
our minds is like Justice League X Sonic.
Right.
Really,
I haven't read it. Can,
It's
you,
banger.
can you
Well,
guys break it down for me?
To keep in line with Scott Snyder, why don't we read Batman/Fortnite Foundation? I mean,
You're right, you're
I
Slash
think that'll be a
Fortnite
good segue.
Foundation.
hey,
Yeah.
it's kind of good. The Fortnite Batman comics not awful. It's not awful. It's not good.
Is
but it's not
Jonesy in
awful.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was
so
gonna
it's,
say it's
uh,
only gonna
there's
be
lots
good
of
if Jonesy's in it.
And
Jonesy
it's
is like
about,
Mr. Fortnite.
It's about him falling in love with Catwoman over and over and over and realizing that things are going to end, and that's the only time that he's able to like commit to the relationship because
So
he
it's-
knows that it's fleeting.
It's kind of like a rival.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Rivals?
a rival.
A rival.
Batman and Marvel rivals. That's a
Batman
new
and Marvel
one.
rivals?
Could happen. It won't.
We have Moon Knight.
DC crossover?
Yeah. Obviously, Scott Snyder wrote Absolute Batman, and that shit is fucking peak right now.
So
it's
fucking
my
good.
favorite one
So
so
good.
far.
This first arc
It's been
just
my favorite.
the
It's
first
been my
arc just
favorite too.
ended, and to compare his first arc there to this first arc, it's very like
It's only downhill from here.
Might be.
Yeah.
They're gonna throw in a Lincoln March and Absolute
So
Batman.
the next 2 issues are going to be Mr. Freeze, and I'm hyped.
yeah.
I know the cover
haven't
of
gotten
him
good Mr.
looking like a
Freeze in a
fucking
while.
Wendigo.
Yes.
Looks
And they
crazy.
teased Bane.
I saw
Yeah,
the
and
I
then
saw the
Bane.
leak of Bane. He looks crazy, man.
Yeah.
He
Those
looks
are League of Bane.
crazy.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just big.
Okay.
He's just a big
So-
man.
So
Like-
I guess.
I got you.
So possible
Pull it up.
spoilers then for
Oh yeah.
Oh,
common
we could-
common
yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
Recent stuff.
We're gonna
Spoilers for
segue
Absolute
into recent
Batman.
stuff
We're putting
and-
this right now.
And there will be some light
Concern.
spoilers. We're not going to be like straight up like. Ah,
No, but we'll
like,
talk about it a little
Yeah.
bit, and I'm sure just individual
Yeah.
Yeah,
things.
so Batman does kick a kid.
He does.
Yes.
Big- Holy shit!
He's
what a
big.
fucking
Badass.
unit!
Isha's
bro.
showing
I,
us
I need to
Bane,
get
and
a
he's
closer
big.
look at that. Hold
He's
on, guys.
huge. I can see him from here. He's big.
I know, but I need to like.
You scroll.
Yeah.
Oh, more ads, more pop-up ads on that.
They
Yeah.
did make
website.
Batman huge for Absolute.
And they
But
made Bane
he's
huge.
similar to when
Mask of him, he's got the mouth.
he's similar to when Batman goes crazy mode here though. That's like
Yes.
default Absolute Batman. Like
Yeah,
that's
he's
Absolute
just
Batman on
kinda
a bad
nutty.
day, you know. Yeah.
Getting
He's a beast.
Scott Snyder to write another like beginning for Batman is such a good idea.
And
it's
damn
just
did it
like,
work. And no Thomas Wayne. Who knew?
No Thomas Wayne.
Who
What?
knew? He didn't need him.
Way better than this.
Didn't need him.
Didn't need him.
So he did 2 Batman comics before this one. He did Batman Black Mirror and Batman Gates of Gotham. I haven't read either of those, but he did
I
those
haven't heard
2,
of
and then
those.
they gave him main Batman,
Crazy.
which is crazy. Yeah.
I saw the Black
Wow.
Mirror compact, or not compact, but the trade in
Like,
the,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
back of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Recommended in
It's
the
pretty
back.
interesting.
But yeah,
What else?
I mean, there's the Absolute Universe, the Ultimate Universe. I
Yeah.
love both of them.
What's been some highlights? Like,
Well, I was gonna think like we could all bring an issue that we
sure.
like
Yes.
that came out recently.
Yes,
Or
I'm down.
I like saying keeping it monthly since we're doing these episodes monthly. So what was
Right.
your favorite issue this month, or like what do you want to highlight this month that came out? So like for me, dude, Ultimate Spider-Man is cooking right now.
Big surprise.
Yeah.
Cooking right. I
It's
know.
good.
Let's be
I
real.
know.
Sin's cooking.
No,
I'm
he
glazing,
is cooking.
I'm glazing Spider-Man as always, but
My favorite
But it's
writer,
so cool.
Jonathan Hickman.
14
I
issues
mean,
in, and
right now it's
just
getting
so
into some
good.
gritty shit just with
Yes.
him and Craven and fucking Gabby.
Yes, and I just think the art is so good in
I
that
love the
series.
art.
Like
Yeah.
Chichetto or Caquetto, however he pronounces it, but
It's better than mainline by like infinite. So
yes, like
so
oh my god,
Fucking
bro.
When's
Paul.
Ultimate Paul coming?
dude,
Ultimate
when
When the Maker returns,
the beginning,
he's like, "Fuck, he's Spider-Man again."
His one weakness, Paul.
the beginning of like this Amazing Spider-Man run, where Spider-Man's getting beat up and then like Paul shows up. It's so ugly. The art looks terrible. The writing's terrible. It's like I don't know what's going on.
You read it?
I read the
You
beginning of it.
read
The
it?
beginning of it, I did read. The beginning of it, I did
I
read.
Wait,
have
so
not
how-
read
how
a
does-
single issue of Zeb Wells'
How
run.
does Paul show up into like?
There's-
that shit ran
What
for
does he do?
50
From a different
issues.
fucking
There's like a
universe.
time-
Right. Well, yeah, because him and
There's a
and
time
MJ
jump.
get stuck,
Dimension,
right?
Yeah.
Thing on
Well,
it.
there's like a time jump thing or something where Spider-Man wasn't around,
Mm-hmm.
and MJ's just like, "Yeah, I moved on. I'm into Paul now." And it's like,
It was like some
Great.
Spider-Verse bullshit.
Spider-Man
Yeah,
and
Spider-Verse
MJ
bullshit,
get trapped
yeah.
in like a different dimension,
There's
and
like two
time
kids
moves
too,
differently
right?
there. So
Yeah.
Spider-Man's gone for like 20 minutes, an hour,
course.
in 616, and then he goes to the other dimension. Like 6 months have passed, and
Right.
she found Paul, and like 2 kids like showed up out of nowhere, and they adopted him.
They have
It's
a little
dumb,
found
yeah.
family.
Yeah, it's
what's
stupid.
But
What's up-
regardless, Ultimate Spider-Man is just so
Well,
good
ultimate,
right now.
yeah, no.
what's some of your
Like-
favorite moments from Ultimate Spider-Man? Everybody.
Like right now, it's like I know this is underrated, but like the Christmas issue is actually kind of fire.
I was
like,
about to say.
It was
no, the Christmas
Really?
issue.
Come on.
When
What,
I'm
his ass?
living month to month on Spider-Man, and that's my month, I'm like,
I think
It's
just
the tension of
ending
it, and then it ends.
if
with,
I was
like,
reading in a trade, I'd be happy.
yeah,
True.
That's true.
Month to month, I was a little
well,
bit
yeah,
like, you gotta
it's
give
just,
me
it's
more.
just a filler issue.
Yeah.
But,
it's
I
cool.
bet you didn't like the dinner issue either.
No,
That
I
was
actually did like
peak.
that one. I actually
I
did
like
like
that one a lot.
Well, I think my favorite thing from this universe is that they're doing old Spider-Man while also setting up young Spider-Man with like
Yeah,
the,
right.
the
That's so
symbiote
cool.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Richard.
Like
The-
Richard is,
Richard
Picotech.
Parker-
and then
Pick-
Richard and
Pick-
Black Cat are risen up right now. They're the same age.
No,
They're
50
they're going crazy.
She's older than him.
Yeah, what, 16 and a
Crazy
half?
detail to throw
He's
in.
15 and a half.
I had to throw it in there, bro. Come on.
I love
He's whiz cakes.
Mole Man just doing his
Mm-hmm.
the
Mole Man
new
being part of the
Sinister
Sinister
Six.
Six.
The new Sinister
Six
Six
is
is
cool.
nice.
Yeah.
I like
all the
him. Craven
implications
being in there.
with like all the implications with like Maker being in charge of all this makes the Sinister Six even
Yeah.
cooler.
Yeah,
The
And, like,
original
they're a good.
Black Cat just
group.
being paraplegic.
We've
now
talked
for
about
the
this
rest
off
of it.
camera, but like Mysterio's a cool character.
Yeah,
Oh.
I love their design for this one too.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
look great. Though one of my favorite designs is Spider-Man 2, where you see the skull in there. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Mysterio's always great though.
Yeah.
You can't make him look bad almost.
Yeah,
that's,
I mean,
that's
it's just
my
giant
highlight for the
fishbowl.
month,
I-
as far as I can say. But
My favorite part of
That
the
even come
not my
out?
favorite part, but
Oh,
one of my
not this
favorite
week.
parts is just with the relationship with his family.
Yeah.
And like when he has just the black suit originally, and then his daughter's just like, "This is way too scary,
is not
Dad."
you,
Like
yeah.
people are gonna be terrified of you. You need something better. And then
they
that's-
gave
that's how
some
he
reason
gets-
for him to go to the cloth suit. I forgot what it was, but
Because he didn't
Yeah.
like the Picotech.
Because
Yeah.
it could yeah, it was too invasive.
Yeah.
yeah, it was like reading his thoughts. And
When-
shit,
Right.
but, like, yeah.
Well, yeah, because they had like AI in it,
Uh-huh,
and then he
yeah.
decided to make it himself.
And
So
And then
which
he's like,
is
man, I
interesting.
fucking don't like myself.
It's like, man, I don't want myself talking to my head all the time.
Yeah.
and you're right. It didn't come out this month, but it's just
That's
like,
fine.
It's
No,
just-
it- well,
it came out.
it came out-
a month
It's,
from today.
it's coming
A
out.
month.
It's coming out next week.
coming
No,
out.
it already came out, right?
No, yeah, it just didn't come out last week.
It didn't come out
That's
in
fine.
March.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but
right.
No issues came out this month.
But I
Next
thought we're
week.
getting one. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
next
getting.
Oh,
week,
right,
we,
right,
next
right,
week
right.
we get Ultimate Spider-Man 15.
Right, right,
But
right.
I cannot recommend it enough. It is so good.
It is
I think
amazing.
that's
If
the
you're not
first
reading it,
comic
what are
I
you
bought.
doing? Honestly.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
That's
But
why I started collecting January 2023 is because
That is the
Ultimate
reason I
Spi-
started collecting
Yeah.
comics. Yeah.
I went
He
into
put
the
me
comic
on.
shop. I got Ultimate Spider-Man #1. I got Radiant Black #1. Those
Yeah.
are my goats.
I mean, I got back
So-
into it because you guys started doing it. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, there's all this new shit going on in both Marvel and DC. And I was like, oh, cool. And then I found out there was also a new Transformers. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah. I'll
both
open
I
it.
got into that.
Both new universes just feel so relevant. It feels they're so informed by like just the current feelings of living in just society now. It speaks to the struggles and the pressures that we all feel and can't really do anything about. But then you get to read and it's like it's not only do I feel seen and heard, but like I have these characters that I love and they're actively fighting against it. It just gives you hope, and that's what heroes.
It
are
is
for.
literally
That's
feeding
what heroes
you
do.
the themes in politics from real world, like spoon feeding it to you, and it's like all digestible, and it's just so cool.
It's less overwhelming than the
Yeah.
like mainline. Even when they refresh mainline, sometimes like this, it's very accessible, and sometimes it's like there's still so much going on.
They're restarting Amazing Spider-Man again.
Yeah,
Like,
and
Starting with
Batman
and Batman, yeah.
And
in
Batman?
April or May.
Yeah. But I'll open it up to you guys. What
Yeah.
was your favorite issue from this month? Or
Okay, to go to Ultimate Spider-Man, my favorite one was just the beginning when Uncle Ben and J. Jonah Jameson are just like, all right,
really?
new management, we're out. I was into that
Yeah.
because you
I
guys
like those
mentioned
too.
really cool other stuff, but I really liked their dynamic.
Yeah,
No,
I love
actually
their-
like-
yeah.
I actually like Jameson in
Their
this
little
universe.
buddy
Yeah,
buddy
that was
shit
great.
they got going on is great.
Yeah.
Starting their own little news
Yeah.
news
Yeah.
place.
I love Jonah's relationship with like Richard Parker.
Yeah.
Yes.
and
Yeah, true.
I think it's
wholesome.
just great.
And he gives him his book. That's so
And
funny.
then, and
Yeah.
then he
There you
critiques
go.
him
That
on
was
it.
a good moment from the Christmas one. That was great.
He's like, "Are you talking to girls? I'm about to."
I'm bad at
Pretty
it.
much.
Give me 1 sec. Let me get the Picno suit.
All right. I'm reading a lot of books, but one of my favorites is New
Just great
Gods.
stuff.
But my
Oh,
other
facts. I
favorite
wanna talk to you
one
about that.
recently, a singular issue, is it's Ice Cream Man number 43. It was all the one pagers. Like
Oh.
each page had its own story. It had
What?
it had
That's so
Grant
cool.
Grant Morrison on there. They had Matt Fraction. But my favorite one is from Zoe Thorogood, and it's like this very emotional, depressing one about her brother like killed himself a bit ago, and so she's outletting that, and it's like there's a panel where they're both playing like Lego Star Wars together, and her
sick.
brother's
Nice.
straight up like floating. It's like that got
Damn.
me because my
Holy
brothers
shit.
and I played so much Lego Star Wars. And I was like,
Oh,
if
yeah.
I lost one of
Complete
them,
saga, man.
yeah, and it's got a picture of them when they were kids in there.
Aw,
I'm like, all the other like
Yeah.
the one before that is somebody getting turned into ice cream, and I'm like, this is kind of epic. It's
Yeah.
just like classic horror
What's this
ice cream
called?
man
Ice Cream Man?
shenanigans. Yeah, ice cream
Okay.
man.
Ice Cream Man's like been going.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't
I
keep
feel like
up
I've
with
heard
it.
of that before.
I don't keep up with it. Once
an
I saw it was
anthology.
tons of
Yeah.
runners, I was like, that's cool. Like one page stories by lots of different
It's
artists
interesting, yeah.
was cool.
Yeah.
Did that come out like recently or?
Yeah, that was January, I guess,
Oh,
but
okay,
like
gotcha.
close
No.
enough.
Fair enough.
yeah,
First
yeah.
episode.
Came
We
out
gotta
this
talk about
year.
what we
No,
like.
we got
Yeah,
it exactly.
But I read a lot of other stuff. I don't keep up with Ice Cream Man, but that one I picked up. I was like, it's
Yeah.
cool.
That's just neat.
New Gods, read that.
You
Dude,
gotta
oh
read
my
that.
god, yeah. So I just read Miracle Man, Tom King.
Yes, banger.
And then so like kind of New Gods just popped up on my radar, and then I didn't know anyone who was reading it, and then you said you were, so now I'm like, I was
Good
thinking
stuff.
about it. I'm like,
The art's
you
great.
know, I mean, I like, and I flipped through. I think an issue came out this week.
Yeah,
or
it
last
did,
week or
yeah.
whatever. So
This
I
week, I
like
think.
kind of flipped through it, and
Yeah.
Big Bart is in there, Miracle Man's in there.
Yeah,
I like
they're
that.
back.
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah,
I'll read anything if it has them, and then
yeah.
I don't read a lot of DC to be honest.
Me
But
neither. I don't know much
here
about
for it.
Miracle Man or anything.
All right, favorite issues from one of you guys.
Aaron, you want the floor?
no. I genuinely like
Needs
the
a
only thing
second.
I can think about is
absolute stuff.
Well, no. If we want to talk about
I see
Ultimate
Sonic
or
in his
Absolute,
eyes.
I could yap about that forever. But like,
It's
yeah,
just
it's
favorite issue from the last month that.
dude, I really liked the Sonic.
Me too.
DC
Me
crossover.
too, for real.
I
That's
really
crazy.
liked it.
Well,
For
let's
real.
talk about it.
Okay.
In the same month where
actually
I don't
great.
know.
Absolute
I did
Flash
not,
came out,
I did
like-
not
sorry.
read it.
I'm
Look,
sorry, it's not
but as a
Ultraman X
first issue
Avengers.
and-
that's my childhood right there, man.
Yeah. Okay. And I love all the Sonic characters, and I love how they
They're great.
characterize all of them. I love how they all have a counterpart from
The
the
comics
Justice
give them
League.
deep lore too.
Like yeah. So it's,
I've
it
heard so
feels
much shit about Sonic comics. It's insane.
the
Yeah.
IDW
Like the
comics
Archie
have like
ones?
really
Yeah.
transformed a lot. The Archie comics have a lot of like
They're
there's a lot
insane.
of there's a lot of shit
random
going on there.
shit.
It really took it in its own direction. And then there's like all the like Ken Penders stuff with like Knuckles and the echidnas, and then
Yeah,
there's like
those are insane.
and that's
Those get
crazy.
dark.
Ken Penders is a fucking
Gets
madman.
dark,
Like
yeah.
not in a good way.
Seriously.
He's weird. But this is like it's pure fun, especially for the issue 1. I love their counterparts. I love the characterization of the Justice League and of the Sonic team. I love like
They're so fun.
I mean
You can
obviously
argue with pure entertainment.
watching Flash and Sonic race and talk shit to each other is so good.
That's so
there's
And
like
it
a
feels
little-
good. You think you know exactly how it's gonna go, and it goes mostly like that.
Right.
But it's
For
enough.
real.
Whoever's writing it actually cares enough to
Right.
make it like, oh, this is fun. These are interesting like pair ups that are more entertaining to read than I thought. I was like, oh, I know what this is.
Well, and it felt really good. Like Silver being a counterpart to Green Lantern is like that's such a. I just wouldn't have thought Knuckles and Superman
are great together.
I love it.
Okay. Shadow
crazy.
and Batman
Shadow
going off.
and
He's like,
Batman!
who did you lose?
sense.
I was
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
bro.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, and it's like
Of course
it's just
you're
I
gonna
just
have
wanted
the
to see the
broody
edge
guys
lords
together.
talk,
Yeah.
and the fact that like that Batman is. Like, because Shadow is just pure edgelord. Like,
He is.
Batman is edgy, and especially compared to fucking
This
the
Batman's
Justice
a little
League.
sweetheart, isn't
Right. And so
Yeah,
it's the fact
he
that
is.
Batman's
Hell
able
yeah.
to get through to him.
Yeah.
Tails and Cyborg have their little moment where they're like
Yeah.
respecting each other's tech. I mean, I
Amy
love
and
it.
Wonder Woman are both women.
And then the girls. and the girls.
The girl.
No, they match up great, but it's like a little bit like okay.
I mean,
It
well,
is,
yeah,
it's just
they
the
needed.
girls.
All
They
right.
got
Yeah.
one girl.
It's
They
just
got one
Yeah.
girl. Pair 'em
They're
up.
cute too, though. The colors are amazing. Actually,
it's great
Like that's
art,
I think
yeah.
that's the best. Which I haven't read a Sonic issue in forever. I think that's the best they've all looked. Like they're just colorful and bright, and they're in their zone, not the DC zone. So it's just bright colors. It's nice.
I love
Yeah.
when Flash and Sonic are racing and they're like kind of edging
Yes.
each other out. And in one
Pause.
panel, they're
Pause.
just edging each other. And in one panel, like they're like Flash is ahead of him, and Flash's got like the lightning and the speed force, and he's a blurry. And Sonic, you can like see his legs individually, and then Sonic like runs a little bit
Yeah.
ahead of him, and
It's
he's
like
got
an
like
infinity
the
line.
infinity
Yeah,
on his.
yeah.
And he's got
Really? That's
yes,
sick.
oh,
That's
I
I
see that
sick.
love
panel
it,
with
dude.
the-
I
That is
love
cool.
It.
That
It
is
does,
cool.
It does such justice to both. Like it's just damn, man. It's so
Mm-hmm.
good. They're having fun. They're getting along. I really, really did.
Comics is the
so
one
much
IP or like one medium where like you can just combine
that
IP
crazy
and
stuff.
just
Do
fuck
whatever.
it.
Yeah.
Naruto
It just looks
Ninja
good.
Turtles, bro. What the fuck?
Is that real?
That-
yeah,
That
dude,
is real.
it's
I haven't
cool.
seen
Did they do that in the
It's
comic
so
or the
cool.
manga?
You haven't
need to
seen
read
that in the
that.
shop, bro?
No,
That's
I didn't see
that
that.
issue 1 just came out
Didn't
like a
see
couple
that.
weeks ago.
Dang.
That's
They're on
that's
number
wild.
3
That's
now.
nuts.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
I think
What?
so.
That's
Yeah.
Three
fast.
came out this month.
And I'm not a
That's
huge fan of
crazy.
either.
Are they doing
but
weekly?
I love.
It's cool.
They're doing weekly then, probably.
Yeah, I think so.
That's crazy.
That is wild.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Must
it might
be.
be.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did. They are number
Uh-huh.
3. That's what came out last Wednesday.
Yeah.
You got a favorite series from
Yeah, yeah.
recently?
I
Yeah,
talked about
you guys
mine.
want to
Bullshit.
fucking hear it? It's
Transformers.
fucking Transformers.
Oh,
Whoa. Oh no.
Is it the Robert Kirkman one?
It's
That one's the Void Rivals one.
Yeah, Void Rivals. Is it that
This
one?
is
I
the
do- no, yes,
this
it's,
is the other one, right? Or who's writing this?
I think
Who's
this
writing-
one's ongoing. I think.
Mike Spicer. I
Oh,
think.
okay, it's
Or
different.
no, he might be the artist.
I thought it was like Joshua.
Do you need a fact check?
I would love a fact check.
Isha, can you pull
I
it
think,
up?
it was
I
someone
think it's
popular.
the Robert Kirkman one because I think that's the one that's still
It might be
going.
Robert Kirkman. then.
Robert Kirkman is writing Void Rivals. I know that
Is
for
he?
a
Yes,
fact.
Okay,
but
well, then-
Void Rivals is the
Well,
Transformers run right now.
Yeah, they're part of the same
No, they're
universe.
They're different
I don't-
runs.
are there two
but they're
runs
part of
going
the
on?
same-
No,
'cause
yeah.
There's G.I.
So-
Joe and Transformers and Void
So
Rivals.
right
Yeah.
now they're
Energon
doing a whole
universe.
Energon universe, and it's got to be it's Void Rivals,
Yeah.
GI Joe,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Transformers. And the whole thing with Void Rivals is that is just taking place in space, and so that is not on Earth at all, and it's connected,
universe and everything, yeah.
It's connected, and you do get obviously some connections with the Transformers and the people in Void Rivals, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody that is wanting to read it or will
I'm
read
definitely
it.
gonna read it eventually. You've
Well,
been
yeah.
yapping about it.
I haven't
ever since
yeah,
we've been
yeah.
living together.
But just like
Oh, wait, we have a
there's
fact check?
Oh yeah, fact check.
Daniel Warren Johnson. is
Daniel
the
Warren
writer.
Johnson.
Daniel Warren Johnson.
He's good. He's
Daniel
good.
Warren
He's
Johnson,
good.
And then Mike Spicer and
Is the artist.
Jorge Corona are the
Mm-hmm.
two artists. Mike Spicer's the one who started it, and then Jorge's the one who's like picking it up. But since we're on the topic of the artists, real quick, art in Transformers is fucking beautiful.
So this
love,
isn't the Kirkman one though.
this is not the Kirkman
Okay,
one, no.
that one's gorgeous too.
I will have to. I did not know he
It's
wrote
amazing.
for Transformers, so I'll have to read that. But yeah. So Void Rivals is just connected with it, and there is a lot of connections with the Transformers that they reveal slowly. Because one of the big things in Transformers lore is just there's this dark god named Unicron,
Yeah.
and he's teased in Void Rivals, and the
It's
whole
all
thing
connected.
it's all connected. Just I'm sure they'll have a big event later down in the road. I'm sure they're planning for it. But G.I. Joe and Transformers are more connected than Void Rivals is to the rest of them. Like, you get cameos of Transformers, like certain ones, like Hot Rod's in it. And this guy, what's his name?
So this is it though, right?
Yeah, this is it.
So this is Jonathan Kirkman. Yeah. He helped reboot it. It is.
Okay.
It's part of the Energon universe.
Right.
Yeah.
He might be leading it the way like Hickman's.
Yeah. No, exactly. He's like a
leading the whole
showrunner
thing. Yeah.
Right,
kind of
yeah,
thing
no,
for
I
it.
can see that.
But it's amazing. I've only read the first volume, but yeah, it is great.
It's good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Everyone's trying to like do their own like universe stuff. Every company.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's such a good time to just get back into comics and
Yeah.
really get
There's
that
a
into
lot
it.
of
That's
good
the thing
stuff.
is, it's better than. First of all, you talked about it earlier.
Main
Like
continuity.
main continuity
Right.
kind of is just sucking
just
sometimes.
bleh.
Like Spider-Man's been so mid,
Yeah.
and also it's like it is just more intimidating. To
Yeah,
jump
there's a
into
lot.
it. So it's like there's so many new universes, and they're all fucking bangers, dude. I mean, even like we've been reading like all the Ultimate books. Like I haven't been collecting all of them, but I've been reading a lot of them
Reading
online.
them on the line.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like fucking X-Men is awesome. Ultimate X-Men is fucking awesome.
Dude.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I
it's so
love
good.
Ultimate X-Men.
I still need to read the new issue. I still haven't read it.
It's so cool.
Oh my god.
That
And,
one's a dream sequence,
you
but
know,
it's so
I'm
cool.
sure you guys have been hyping it up. And
in Ultimate Black Panther is
such a slow
Finally
burn,
getting
but it's getting
somewhere.
cool.
I really like
They're
the,
off of
the
Moon Knight
lore
now.
they're
Yeah.
doing.
Ul-
I like the
Ultimate
Budokan
Wolverine?
and-
Are you caught up?
No, not on Ultimate Wolverine or X-Men yet. I'm
Just-
getting there.
Dude,
Ultimate Wolverine's like 2 issues right now.
Oh,
It's like-
sorry, Black Panther.
okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Ultimate Wolverine is so fun.
It is
Really
cool, though.
cool.
The
Really
second
cool.
issue was like not a lot going on, but it was good.
But
Build
just,
up,
Yeah.
sets it up.
Just go build
Yeah.
up. I mean, the first
Yeah.
one just
The first one's
immediately off the
insane.
bat with killing off
Yeah.
two very big characters.
No Ultimate Nightcrawler.
No
Straight up.
Ultimate Nightcrawler. No Ultimate
Next-
Mystique.
There was.
He was there.
Next
for a
week we
second.
get
He
Ultimate.
fired a fucking gun. he
Yeah,
was
Yeah, that
shooting.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, him teleporting and just raining down fire on
was sick.
Wolverine was so badass. And then him
Just don't matter.
just sniffing, and then once he gets
It
that
don't matter.
whiff, and then he's just,
Yep.
It's like, oh, you're not
Yeah.
Colossus.
you're not Colossus. Oh yeah, the
Issue
Mystique.
3 comes out next week. And
was about to say, right?
I'm interested.
He's gonna be fighting.
Ultimate Gambit.
Yeah, he's gonna be fighting
Oh.
Gambit and Kitty, which is gonna be crazy.
Kitty Pryde,
mad.
huh?
Like I think his series is just gonna be going
Just him
around
killing
killing.
And
the
another
classic X-Men.
He's gotta
new
be
character
redeemed
that was
eventually.
teased in the little see you next week like shit that they do with the
Yeah, yeah.
posting. What do you call it? Like the
This
first look.
spoilers?
Yeah, for first
Right.
look. There was another
look,
new
yeah.
character that's coming to the Ultimate Universe. I will
Oh
not say
yeah.
who.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, the Ultimates.
say?
The newest issue of the
You
Ultimates
could, you
with
could say who.
with the Red Skulls.
Yes.
Oh, the
That
Red-
was
Ultimates.
yeah.
insane.
Ultimates
I was
is.
into that.
I feel
That's
like
great.
Oh, were you not talking about Wolverine specifically?
So like the Wolverine story, like that
There's a
series.
character that gets
there
introduced.
was a tease for next week's issue, and it reveals a new Ultimate character that is going to be central to that story.
Oh.
I will not say who because that issue has not been released
Ultimate
yet.
Saber-
I'm
Sabretooth?
trying to remember. Like, I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I
I don't know.
can't.
I don't. I
remember.
don't read most of the first look things. Like if they show
No.
up on my
Yeah.
social
I do
media,
not
I'll
want
watch
to say
it.
anything for spoiler sake
Yeah.
because it has not been
I pretty much always go in blind.
Yeah.
But as far
Hi,
as the
Ozzy.
Ultimates goes, I feel like that is the series right now. Like,
Other than Spider-Man. Spider-Man's
well,
just
no,
peak.
Spider-Man is just Spider-Man, but like
Yeah.
as far as like pure Marvel fun, like
Yeah, right.
the Ultimates just gives you everything you want
Non-stop.
from
Yeah.
Marvel
It is
Universe.
really cool.
Like every issue is a new character,
Yeah.
new highlight.
And they still have the
Ultimate
balls
Luke
to give
Cage
Luke Cage a
issue?
whole issue.
Yeah.
A
Yes,
whole issue.
yes.
What a good issue.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yes.
Great issue.
Yeah.
I feel
And
like
the Guardians
about power,
come in.
man.
It's about
oh,
power,
motherfucker,
man.
dude.
yeah.
It is.
I feel
All
like
power to the people.
this series, the Ultimates that's going on right now, is going to go down as like the one
Oh,
of
yeah.
the
All
better
times.
one of the
All
better
times.
Marvel series.
Yeah.
Like it is just
It's awesome.
And Absolute too. It's like they're
Yeah.
both going down as all times.
I
Like
love-
there's good
100%.
stuff out right now.
Yeah.
mhm.
I love Reed, Doom, and we're back.
Alrighty.
Look behind the scenes. We don't have a name for this podcast yet. We don't have a name. It doesn't exist.
I
love
have
the
a
names.
recommendation because
Oh.
it was thrown out here. How do you all feel about Absolute Shenanigans?
Oh,
I
pretty
do
good.
like that one.
That's pretty good.
I actually do like that.
But it doesn't say comic book podcast in the name. How will they find us?
How will they know?
Subtitle?
I'm kidding. I don't know. Yeah.
Ultimate
In,
shenanigans.
Yeah, what if we
in
did-
parentheses, comic book podcast.
Superior
I was
shenanigans.
gonna say, okay, I was kind of
Shenanigans
thinking,
life story.
what if we just did?
Shenanigans life story is crazy. Okay.
I was gonna suggest like, what if we did just like amazing, superior,
absolute,
ultimate.
Ultimate
Does
shenanigans.
Batman have like a
Year one.
adjective?
Not really.
Comics year one.
Comics
The
year
brave
one.
and the bold.
Detective.
Detective. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Figure
know.
it
We'll
out.
figure it out one
Action.
day. We'll figure it out.
Absolute shenanigans.
Anyway, yeah.
Time to spin that wheel.
Well, we'll
hold
finish
on.
with that. But yeah, we all pick up. I feel like
Jumping ahead.
we all go to a physical comic book store. I think the same one, right?
shout
go
out
to
Ash
Ash-
Avenue
Yeah.
Ash
Comics
Avenue
in
Comics.
Tempe,
Yeah.
Arizona.
Ash Ave.
But yeah, I think we all like to collect
Gotta
physically.
dox us
We all
like
pick
that.
up stuff. So we'll keep talking about modern stuff. we're trying to do kind of a half and half, like half book club, half talking about whatever shenanigans.
Absolute shit.
It's coming
I
out
don't-
that month or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what that'll look like in this episode since we're figuring it out. But yeah,
But now we finished our book, so I think
We
it's
did finish our
time.
book.
We need to pick a new one for the
Well,
next month, right, fellas?
anyone else have concluding thoughts on this first episode?
I
You don't have to.
I like owls.
Batman. More
Owls.
like
Batman?
Mid.
Whoa.
Whoa.
On
Hey,
Court
now.
of Owls, I'm telling Scott.
Yeah, I'm
Snyder.
telling Scott.
I'm telling him.
Quarter of Hours is a banger.
I loved it.
If you
Is
haven't
he
read it
related
yet,
to Rob
read it.
Schneider?
Labyrinth. Wait, we didn't go over our favorite issues for it.
I don't know him by name.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Chapter five
They were-
issue.
If it's not chapter 5, you
Yeah,
guys
there's
are-
the labyrinth.
Whichever one
issue.
was that the
That's-
labyrinth? Yeah,
that's the
labyrinth one,
obviously.
yeah.
But you-
Obviously.
Chapters 5 and 6.
You like
Five
the,
and 6,
Ryan,
yeah.
you like the Wayne?
I like
Wayne
I like
Manor?
issue 9. The,
I like that
the,
one, too.
The Batcave issue.
But
It's
yeah,
just so
That
cool.
one was fire
Labyrinth-
too.
My favorite one,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's a great series. Definitely
But-
check it out.
Read Quarter of Owls if you haven't. And obviously this is book club, so we're about to spin a wheel. And the way
Yes.
we're going to do it is we all have 2 suggestions. And we spin a wheel, and that is the book we're going to read for the next month.
Except
Yes.
for me, I don't think mine are in there, right?
But-
No,
Yeah, 'cause
every
yours-
since
yours is
his-
Court of
yours
Owl.
was chosen. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Since Aaron was
Your
chosen
name is
last
out of the
month,
running.
he is
Yeah.
out of the
you're
running.
cut. You're cut off, bud.
Get him out of
Okay,
here.
I'm recording my screen. I'm on
Yeah.
wheelofnames.com. Very official. We're spinning it. We don't have a physical wheel.
Read along if you want, because this month
We are
it's
on
going to be
Avengers Twilight.
Avengers
Twilight.
Twilight.
I've actually read that one before too.
Sick.
I get to reread that.
I haven't
Awesome.
read it, so this will be first.
That came out when I was started collecting. And
Fire.
Like you started collecting too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been like on and off collecting for a long time, but definitely it's like freshman year I was picking up all the Rorschach issues and then random other stuff, and then
Oh, wow.
there was a big lull of like randomly picking up a trade every once in a while, and then also with the Ultimate Spider-Man I was like, okay, back to pretty much weekly
Might as
comic
well lock
store.
in.
I started
Yeah.
collecting when Superior Spider-Man was coming
Nice.
out.
Wow.
Like
That was
a- that was a
literally
cool
like
run.
on issue 1, and I started off collecting that one. So that was
Have you
nice.
maintained since then though, or are there patches where it's like pretty
so
much
there
nothing?
there is some patches,
Yeah.
but I'm up to 21 and I'm missing I think 18 and 17, the ones with Miguel with Spider-Man 2099.
I have both of those.
There you go.
I have both of those.
Is it the
Are you
same
above that?
2099 as like, or is it Ultimate 2099?
No, I think it's just.
Oh
same
wait,
20
you're talking about Superior.
I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about Superior.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Um,
But I mean, like in general, like comics collecting, like once the Superior, have you been collecting since then pretty consistently? Yeah.
So
That's
I
how
was
I've been.
collecting Superior, and then I got to about issue 21, and then for whatever reason, I kind of just stopped. And then
Yeah.
here and there, I would just go to a comic book shop and just pick
Yeah.
out whatever looked interesting. And then now recently, I started getting back into actually collecting a series. And
Yeah,
every
that's
week.
where I'm
Going
at.
literally
That's where
every
I'm
week
at.
for Wednesday, I
Yeah.
go right
Because
when
at
they
this
open.
point, there's a new absolute or ultimate every
Something.
Absolute.
Yeah.
There's
Ultimate,
always
for
something
me,
I'm into.
The Energon
Yeah.
shit, and
Yeah.
I'm collecting GI Joe
Definitely.
and Transformers, so I'm
Yeah.
those
I mean,
alternate.
Pretty soon with the Absolutes, there's going to be multiple per week if they're doing them all
Yeah.
monthly too.
Yeah.
Right.
so.
I mean, there's
'Cause
gonna
we're
be
getting
6, right?
Martian
'Cause-
Manhunter, Green Lantern's coming out not too long, and then we got Flash now too.
Well, next
Right.
week in general is just a banger. We get
I mean, we get.
Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, and Wolverine.
Yeah,
all in one
bangers.
week.
I get
Guys,
nothing
Martian
for
Manhunter
mine.
looks so fucking cool.
does.
I'm
I'm
so
excited.
excited.
I'm,
Okay,
I'm
okay.
excited for that
Let's
one.
talk really quick. From what it looks like, I think there's going to be some conversation about him being addicted to weed.
Whoa, what?
What do you think about that?
because
Wait,
of all,
where'd you get
because
that
of all the
from?
colors
Specifically?
and like
Because of
the
the art?
shapes?
No, at the end of it, he's like, all I can think about is the smoke, and then he steps outside and smokes. I think there's a
Oh, in
little
the
bit.
preview?
He has a
Yes,
cigarette.
Oh, okay.
it might be a
Yeah,
cigarette, but I'm
it's
thinking
a
there's a little
cigarette.
bit of that level of it's saying it's like he's not quite, which is always the case, Martian, not quite human kind of thing.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like there might be like he escapes through that, but I don't know.
Well, it would definitely fit,
looks
the, fit
psychedelic,
the art
too.
style.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, it would.
But I don't
It's
know.
all trippy.
Yeah.
And
But yeah, this month we're reading Avengers Twilight. Read it, please. It's
Yes.
so good.
It's-
Zadarsky, Acuna,
Zdarsky.
fire.
It feels very similar to the Ultimates right now too.
Yeah.
There's distinct differences obviously, but it feels very similar
It's
in a lot of ways.
it's like it's just another universe. It's
Who writes this one? Who writes Twilight?
Zadarsky.
Zdarsky.
Chip
Yeah.
Zdarsky.
Zdarsky.
Okay.
So
That's
you
my
will-
second favorite writer.
You'll love his Daredevil run if you
Yeah.
haven't read that one.
I'm trying to read that. Soon.
Okay, yeah. Zdarsky. Oh my god. His Daredevil runs god tier. Anyway,
I'll
thank
do
you guys
it.
for watching. Whatever the heck this was, we're likely gonna be on YouTube and Spotify, I think, and we're gonna be trying to do monthly. We don't know. There's not a schedule each month, but
Yeah.
each month there will be hopefully an episode.
Figure something out.
But yes, thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll do not book club episodes too.
Yeah, we'll do some other
We'll
content.
try
probably.
and get some games.
I'm making
going.
no promises. You get what you get.
Yeah,
And you're
This
gonna
guy?
you're gonna eat it up like a slop, like the little piggies
Slop.
you
Gonna
are.
give you grub.
Piggy, wink, wink, wink.
All right.
Alrighty.
This has been Alvin and the Chipmunks, episode 1.
This has been
Who's Dave?
the Unnamed Podcast, episode 1.
He's Dave.
Well,
He's
there's,
Dave.
there's not
I'm
4
fucking
chipmunks,
Dave.
guys.
There is.
No, there's not.
There's the yellow chipmunk.
I don't. Who the fuck is that?